Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yo, what's up? We need to talk, okay? We need to talk. Honey, I'm gonna be talking really fast because I have a lot to say and I don't want to relive it. I'm tired of reliving stuff. My tripod's a little crooked. Hold up. Testing, 1, 2, 3. That's the best it's gonna get. Hey y'all, what's up? I'm good. I'm good right now, but I'm making this video because I think this is gonna be an issue in the future, as this person I was seeing is already commenting very hateful things on my social media, on my YouTube, on my Instagram, because of how things turned out. But I'm about to tell y'all a story time. I'm gonna make it as unbiased as possible, but I'm just so happy I got out of this before this 2 months turned into 2 years, because I think I really just dodged a bullet. And they try to flip it on me and be like, oh, you're the problem, this and the third, etc., coming for me, telling me I'm gonna be sad and miserable and alone in 10 years just because I don't want to be with this individual. I think I just avoided possibly getting married and having kids with somebody I probably would have had to run away with or run away from in the future. So let's get into it. Okay, I have a lot to say. I have notes. If I'm looking down a lot, it's because again, I have a lot to say. A lot has gone on and I can't believe it's only been 2 months. I have just canceled this person's tickets because we were supposed to go to Asia together. Y'all, it's all around just bad and intense. And okay, so where do I start? Oh my gosh, again, notes. Baby, I got notes, because I'm so glad I was taking notes. I was taking notes during the course of the relationship because a lot of things were happening, but there were points where I was so high and so drunk that I'm grown. I'll own up to that. But, at some points, I would have weed gunned into my mouth and I'm like, no, it's too much. It's like, no, you're a big girl, you can handle it. And I was just disassociating through some of the relationship. It's crazy how somebody could treat you like a princess. I'm a princess, y'all, and a peasant in the same breath. I really can't explain it. Okay, my shirt's a little dirty, whatever, but I really can't explain it, but it was just a lot. I would have definitely, if I could see into the future, I wouldn't have let this individual into my life. They showed me what love looks like, and they also showed me what kind of hating your partner looks like too. And it's crazy because they called me out for that. They're like, oh, you treat me poorly when I'm away. You be acting like you don't like me. And I'm like, because the way you were treating me, I think my body and my spirit's reacting to that. And that's the side of myself that you're getting. But you're dismissing the stuff that you're doing that's causing me to react. We're gonna call this person Sour Patch because they were sour and sweet. No joke, I'm not even trying to be funny. Shit got pretty crazy. I've had threats made against my family that he tried to dismiss. He was implying stuff really scary stuff, oh, don't make me pull up on your family, etc. I know everything about you. I know it got weird. And I'm gonna stand on that. He's always telling me to stand on my shit. I'm gonna stand on what I feel, and these feelings of stress, being uncomfortable. I always thought my social media would be an issue with strangers, but it could be an issue with people in your life too, especially when it comes to dating. So that being said, we're calling him Sour Patch. I don't fuck with gummy candy, so this is a perfect name for real. Y'all, I got out of a 4-year relationship. I contributed to the toxicity of that relationship, as did the other person. Until I met this person, I didn't get a chance to really see myself in a mirror. So in my last relationship, I know y'all probably heard me talk about my ex and this and that and oh my god, this and blah blah blah. I was problematic too. We're trying to learn how to love as adults, especially when you come from whatever background. Maybe you grew up seeing people argue, you don't know what healthy love looks like, whatever it is. I contribute to that as well. It wasn't until I got around another individual who used to act exactly the way I acted in my old relationship. Not exactly, because he takes it to some extremes, but some of the behaviors I did notice were oh, okay, I used to do that too. That's a lot. When you're on the other side, when you're on the receiving end, oh, honey, do not force your love down nobody's throat, because the way it comes off when you're not able to receive that, oh my goodness, you sitting there thinking, I'm a lover girl, take my love, no, take it back, baby, take it back. It's a lot. So I get out this 4-year relationship. All of 2023, that's a D&D series. If y'all follow my channel, I went to go travel. I was traveling from the Caribbean to Asia to Europe. Honey, I traveled for the year. Technically, it was 10 months because I came home for 2 months, and this is where the 2 months disappeared. If you watch the vlog and you're like, oh, she traveled for a year. Yes, I did. But we just not gonna talk about the 2 months because technically I was traveling because I don't live in my home city, but I was kind of held down. Ooh, holiday season, right? We talking about November and December, right? When I was in Montenegro, which was around September, October, whatever, I get a call from my parent finding out that my car is damaged. I had a car for 8 years. That was my baby, $20,000 paid off. Find out it's in an accident. It's somebody else's fault. Lost my car. I get a check for the car. Woohoo, big check, no car. Cool. I've come home about maybe 2-3 times up to this point. Every single time has not been good. Unfortunately, first time I came home, people's moving weird, jealous, etc. Oh, you could stay. I'm finding out at the airport I don't got nowhere to stay. I'm booking Airbnbs at the last minute. I'm staying with friends. They got boyfriends over. It's not the vibe, etc. People moving weird. They don't want to open the door. They can't get a parking pass so my car doesn't get towed. Just weird shit. Because you coming back from these huge travels. Like, you're posting these unbelievable backdrops and adventures and memories of people, and you coming back to people who didn't go nowhere, and they're like, so they're gonna try to get their jabs at you the way they can. So every time I came home, it was an issue. Maybe it's the city, whatever. But the vibe and energy just wasn't it. So I come home this time and I'm supposed to stay with family. I was supposed to cash this check. There is a whole other story time on that. I don't know if I'll leave it up or not. Basically, my like family, or like one of my family figures who I co-signed my car with, was financially cock blocking this check, even though I'm the one who paid off the majority of the car. I agreed to split. I agreed to do whatever, but they didn't want to see me with bread. Essentially, they wanted to force the struggle on me. So they went 2 months before they signed this check. My accounts went in the negative. I was struggling because I'm over here thinking I'm about to sign a big ass check. I could chill a little bit. Nope, honey, like shit went, baby, like I was working, stressed out, etc. Like, they be telling you can stay with family and it be for the cheap, but the price of your peace, honey, it don't be worth the stay sometimes. So anyways, I was going through it with family. If you want to see that story time and all the craziness that went down with that, go ahead. That shit, it was like a canon event for me. Like, I looked at my parents in a different light ever since. I just looked at myself in a different light. Like, it was a very trying time just trying to get this check for a car. I came back to no car and no check for 2 months. Like, y'all want me struggling. And when you are low, it's so crazy when you're vulnerable how people will take advantage or try to exert power over you in those moments. Like, it's so sad to see. So I'm swiping on Tinder, right? Because I had like reached out to my ex, things weren't going well or whatever. I was like, listen, like, I held it down for you when we was together. We had the apartment or whatever. Can you hold it down for me? We was getting into it. So that wasn't working. I didn't really have many friends I could turn to and be like, can I come stay with you? Of course I'm gonna pay, but a lot of people just aren't in good financial situations, unfortunately. Like, I was even considering living with my ex before, and it's like, girl, like, why would you do that? Honey, in this economy, they've created an economy where we need roommates till we like 80 at this point. Like, it's not fun out here. And even if I have bread, I don't want to spend it all on rent. Like, you're not gonna catch me. Maybe I'm stingy, but like, you just not gonna catch me spending all my bread on rent to sit in the house and be depressed. Like, I just can't do it. I cannot do it. I'd rather go live in a $10 hostel in Asia for a couple months before you see me doing that long term. Or I really need to create a good space for me and the rent needs to be affordable. But I digress. So anyways, shit's bad. I start swiping on Tinder. And I wasn't taking it seriously. A lot of people were coming with trauma already. Like, somebody said, I saw a video and they were like, if you start dating after this year, at this point, like, it's a wrap or something like that. But people were coming with trauma. One person was like, yeah, I was about to be engaged, but found out she didn't love me. But hey, how are you? I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, the trauma and the baggage was heavy. And I understand everybody has it, but it's like how you deal with it. I feel like there's a certain way and how much you throw at the other person. You can't just say, here, take my bags. And you're like, whoa, that's a lot. So I started swiping and I started talking to somebody. He messaged first and I was like, oh, I like the vibe. I love this smile. Like, he was a catch. He worked in the psych field. Honey, it'd be the people in their own field, bruh. He worked in the psych field. He worked with people with special needs and stuff. I was like, oh, my brother got special needs. Like, that's okay, all right. Like, all right. So I'm getting excited. He starts going out the way to see me. The first date, we talked for hours. It was a good ass vibe. And I didn't think we were going to date. I was giving more of like a best friend vibe. But the way he came on strong, I was like, oh, he's persistent. I am attracted to that. I'm attracted to a certain healthy level of persistence and showing me that you want me and you not playing about me. I love that. I think it's so sexy. Like, I think there's a healthy level of possession, but unfortunately, maybe there's not. So we go on a date. I was like, ooh, afterwards, I wasn't sure. So I let him know straight up. I was like, hey, I'm still open to seeing other people, but I had a good time with you. He's like, that's cool. It's whatever, but I just know I want to be exclusive with you. And I know I want this and that. I was like, ooh, daddy, like, okay. Like, I like the energy. We go on another date. He's driving out the way to see me. He drives over an hour to see me because we swiped in proximity of each other, but we do not live near each other. He's driving an hour to see me. And I will admit, he tried to throw it in my face later. He was like, oh, I'm not going to fumble you over a drive. Like, it's crazy how the switch up comes. It was like, I'm not going to fumble you over a drive. Don't worry about it. Like, I want to come see you. I kept asking him, like, are you sure? Are you sure? You're driving a lot? Like, that's a lot. I know when I had a car, that's a lot of miles. That's a lot of gas. He's like, I want to come see you. Don't worry. That turned into, I got this many miles because of you. Oh, I got stopped by 2 cops because we were fighting. And now I got tickets because we were fighting. And I'm driving through the storm to come see you. Stop coming to see me, bro. At one point, I was like, literally, we don't need to hang out because whatever happens to you, I'm scared. Like, you're out there blaming, just so much blame, bro. So it went from like, oh my God, no, I'll do anything to come see you. I'm trying to see you every day of the week if I want to, etc., etc. Like sometimes he would drive back and forth twice in a day just to come see me. I was like, damn, okay. Like if you're comfortable in it, go ahead. I appreciate it. I'd love to see you too. That turned into blame, of course. That's why I don't take things from people. But we'll get there. So he's coming to see me. We're having cute ass dates. We moved way too fast. That was the problem. We moved too fast. We was doing like Forbidden Forest fruit together, tripping, laughing, having a good time, getting hotels and shit like that, getting all ready, blah, blah, blah. Like we moved very quickly. And y'all, it moved way too fast. We had points we would talk on the phone for like 12 hours a day, just talking straight. The vibe was immaculate, good vibes, princess treatment. Like he had me in the passenger seats, like you don't gotta worry about this. He was even willing to like, he was really giving. He was willing to trade in his car to get 2 used cars for us because I didn't have a vehicle yet. I was like, I'm not going to accept that, but wow, like just huge ass gestures. You could call it love bombing. I really do think it came from a loving place. Like I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit on this man. Like he really treated me so fucking well. But at the same time, it was just the little moments that I was like, whoa, okay, no, we can't get married, unfortunately. Like after peeping enough red flags, and it's sad and they're severe enough. When I let you know what they are, it's gonna be like, oh damn, Danny, yeah, you dodged one. And I still, like, the delusional part of me was still trying to be friends and keep a good vibe. I just realized this couldn't be my person romantically. Like I got a little scared off of some of the shit he was saying. Like at one point he drove with me in his car at like 117 miles per hour. And I had said something, I was like 120. He goes, oh, I see the number keeps going up every time. It was 117, I remembered it. Like some stuff goes in your memory because it's like a damn. He was like, we were fighting or arguing, or like we weren't even arguing. You know what, we was talking, I think, and then it got heated, and then he had this like, oh, by the way, don't forget I'm driving. And then he just blacked out, like he wouldn't talk to me. He's just speeding, he's swerving in between cars. And I told him after that I wasn't getting in this car because I was like, nigga, you about to get us both killed? Like I know we both depressed and like a little suicidal sometimes, but like I'm not trying to die for real. Like I'm not about that life. Like I'm gonna still live it through. I'm depressed, but I'm gonna still live it through. So he was driving really crazy, 117. I look over, I was like, oh my God, like am I gonna die in this car tonight? Swerving type shit. He made this dark joke about like parents because like we had some issues with our parents, and I was like, I can't think like that. Those words can't come out my mouth. Like we were high and I shut the fuck down, bro, because I was just like, I can't think about that. Like that doesn't even cross my mind. So the fact that it crossed your mind even as a joke is terrifying to me, because that's some dark shit. Like I was going through with my parents, if you've seen the other story time, but I still love them. At the end of the day, I still love them. Like I understand they trying their best and it's just whatever it is. But like he said that, I was scared as fuck. I was like, what? And then he tried to come back later and be like, oh, I made a joke about my own parent. I'm like, it's all concerning. It's all concerning. Like you're making a lot of jokes about like killing, like the odds, okay? And I'm like, I can't even think like that. Like there's being petty and then there's being like, so I was starting to get scared because I'm like, you're a little too comfortable. He has told me some things. I'm not gonna sit here and tell his business, but if I added it to the story time, I'd be like, oh, Danny, get the fuck out. Like he's told me some things about just like his upbringing and like things he's done and stuff like that. And so I was starting to realize, I was like, oh no, I think this is like, he's really, really sweet, but there's a whole other side, thus the sour patch. Like I was like, I've seen it happen with female friends before where they moved in with a man and within the week they move in together, that man is beating them, controlling them, psychologically abusing them. I've seen girls go on trips with guys and turn around and the guy just switches up immediately. It's scary. I'm not trying to sit here and blame men, but like it happens, bro. So some really dark stuff was said. I don't know if he was aware he was saying it. He would say things like, we would get high and he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get you canceled. And you know, cancel, you thinking like social media. Like I was like, and there was a weird dynamic with that too. Like there was too much fascination with my social media side. As I've already seen, he's been trying to like do shit on social media, and we had a whole talk. I don't have the videos anymore because he was supposed to edit them, so I airdropped them to him when we were like trying to do a couples page or whatever, and I don't have them anymore because I was doing my own shit, so I deleted them out my phone. But we had a whole talk about social media etiquette, being kind to each other online, not taking things being messy and stuff, because I wasn't even going to make this story time, but now I realize I think it's going to be an issue in the future, and I'm going to make it while it's fresh, because some shit went down and I was disassociating for a good chunk of the relationship because I was trying to like overwrite those memories, and just like he kept peer pressuring me out of trying to remember what was happening. So I was literally writing notes. Like I have a whole note. He's like, let me see the note, because he knows I had a note on him, and I had to password lock it because this story time is gonna be all over the place, bro. He was in my laptop. He was watching my old sex tapes with my old partner. He was like, why do you have a folder on them? I'm like, I don't clean out my cloud. That shit's been there for years. I don't clean anything out. I just upload shit so I know it's there and it puts it in chronological order, but I haven't cleaned it out yet. It's been a long time. He was watching my tapes. He was in, like, I couldn't even shower. It got to the point where if I took a shower or a bath, one, he wouldn't leave me alone. Like, he'd be like, oh, you're taking a bath to get away from me, da da da. Or if I like left, like, he said he was codependent, but I didn't know the extent to which, like, if I didn't want to cuddle at night, it was a problem. If I went to go take a shower or a bath and I took too long, it was a problem. But sometimes I would take a shower and bath and he'd be in my phone. He was in my other phone because I got 2 phones. He was in that one where I thought it was safe to leave around him. He went in because he remembered my old password and sent text messages when I was talking to friends, trying to like kind of ground and root because I was getting a little nervous. So I was like, let me reach out to some people and ask for some advice. Literally everybody said run, bro, everybody. Unbiased friends, possibly biased. Nobody was biased actually because they didn't know him, but everybody was like run, 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 run. And he's sending those messaging threads to himself on the phone like, fuck you, I see you're talking to your friends, this is what happened in my old relationship. She started talking to her friends trying to get out. I'm like, oh well, history repeats itself. I'm a little scared. Yeah, you're making some serious comments that are scaring the fuck out of me. Like, there were jokes about, like, I was like, have you ever stabbed anybody? Or I was like, would you ever stab me? And he was like, no. I was like, nah, we don't play that. We were supposed to move in together, bro. Like, shit got crazy. But anyways, he'd be in my phone. He was like watching my old tapes with my partner. He was like, oh, like, I could fuck you better than that type shit. He was in my my cloud. He was in my everything. I didn't feel comfortable. We had a date at a hotel, and at one point my wallet went missing. Just weird shit was happening. And I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just trying to get this off my chest, and then I'll try to clean it up later. But my wallet went missing. And I do this thing where if I'm not sure if I did something, I'll tap 5 times. It's my weird little, I guess everybody knows it now, but I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that kind of puts it in my memory like, okay, I'm pretty sure I saw it there because I tapped 5 times. Or if I lock a door, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make sure it's locked. So later, if I'm like, what's this? Yeah, I tapped. And it's just kind of like my own little thing because I forget a lot sometimes too. And I started writing a bunch of stuff down. My wallet goes missing. I was like, that's weird. So we walked to the store from the hotel. And I was like looking around, like couldn't find my wallet. He's like, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I was looking for something. He's like, well, what is it? Maybe I can help you find it. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm sure it'll pop up. Da, da, da. So he had to leave the hotel to go to work that day. And I had the hotel to myself. Tell me why right before he left, my shit popped up. Like, and he was way too comfy going in my stuff. He just went in my bag the other day. We exchanged Christmas gifts. Bro, this story is crazy. We exchanged Christmas gifts. He didn't even say thank you. He was complaining about how his ex didn't give him gifts and wouldn't even wrap it. I wrapped up all his gifts real nice. Tell me why he opened them while I was like outside of his car and then put the trash in my bag, in my purse. I was like, you're too comfy going through my stuff. At the hotel, he was digging through my purse and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah. So I did accuse him of taking my wallet, or I said I thought he did. He's like, oh, me? Like, and it was this whole thing. He's like, wow, like, I'm really, like, I can't believe you. Wow, like, you're just so fucked up for accusing me for taking it. Where the fuck did it go? We're the only 2 people in this hotel room. Like, shit was getting moved. Bro, like, okay, so we did live together at some point. And this is 2 months, y'all. This is 2 months. That's the craziest thing. We moved way too fast. Like, we had, okay, let me go back to story time. I come back here. I'm having trouble with parents. My parents had a rental property. I was like, I need to get an apartment. I want a roommate. I want to split rent. Okay, so I meet this guy on Tinder, and I know that's my own fucking fault. But anyways, he seems cool as shit. Like, you know how vibes, you just immediately clicked. I'm like, oh my God, everything was perfect before shit started getting weird, before the comments, the behavior, all that stuff. So at one point we even discussed like, hey, fuck it, like full send. Let's, you know, maybe we should be roommates. Like, this is a cool vibe. We were talking so much. We're getting to know each other very, very quickly. You see them freaking 90-day, 30-day fiancés or whatever. Be like, we met yesterday, now we're married and have 3 kids. Like, so I was like, okay, a roommate, like what's the difference between that and finding somebody on Facebook Marketplace? I'm not like keen on either, finding just a random roommate, but I'd rather have a roommate with somebody like I might actually connect with. So we were talking about that, but I'm so glad I did a trial run. I did a trial run at my family's rental property up the street. So we didn't rush to move into an apartment. We went to go live at my family's property. I needed to get away from my family, have the main house, and he didn't mind like having the space too. So we move in there. It's not ideal. There's another tenant there. He starts terrorizing us at some point, like, because he wanted the house to himself, and it was just a really bad situation. At one point he was trying to fight us, and we never talked to this man. He was rolling up on us in the kitchen. Like, the environment was weird, and I think I was trying to use that as an excuse to like what contributed to our downfall. Like, okay, listen, we were in a really weird environment, so maybe we're turning on each other. Like, the dude would roll up on us. I don't know where, my parent found him from wherever, but the dude would roll up on us in the kitchen and be like, oh, y'all cooking? tweaking. He was eating our food. He was doing the most. He was loud. He was playing music. He was stomping in the middle of the night. I was having night terrors. At one point, I was having bad dreams about the person I was seeing off of Tinder, Sour Patch. And at one point, I'll be straight up, and like in my sleep, I got scared. I thought he was attacking me, so I had a bad dream, and bro, I started freaking out on him and shit. Like, it got bad. Like, we were supposed to have the house to ourselves, but because there was still an old tenant in there who was not paying his rent and had yet to be evicted, we're like, whatever, we'll just move in. Maybe he'll leave, and he didn't. So it was just a really bad environment. Okay, so we called it the trap house. No disrespect to my like family or whatever, but like the HVAC was messed up, so the heat was not promise. And then there was an issue with like electricity and a whole bunch of stuff because my family's going through it. They struggling a little bit, and they've been trying to like make money off the house or whatever, but it's just kind of one of those things where like it was just a really difficult situation. The house might be lost and everything, but I was like, all right, let me go ahead and stay there because of my work and my mental health and my emotion, I just couldn't be around family. Like I'm trying to do my little dirty calls or whatever. I'm trying to just have peace. Like sometimes I just want to be left the fuck alone. I realize that like I'm a very social person, but sometimes I really just need my like little bubble for real. So first I moved into the house, and he was like, well, you know, we should get a crib, this and the third. I'm like, you could stay here like as a trial run. And it was a really good trial run. I highly recommend, because if you're gonna move in with somebody, you don't know what you're gonna get the moment y'all sign a lease and turn a key, and it could get really scary. You never know. All right, y'all, testing 1 2 3. I'm back. I'll be taking little breaks because I don't want to sit here and talk about this all day. I really don't. Let me do a sound check. Okay, and we're good. So we are moving in together. Danny, you just met this man 2 months ago. What are you doing? I understand, but I'm just so happy I chose my family's property instead of like a lease for 6 months to a year, because that could have been so bad. Like my intuition was telling me as like we got closer to what we're supposed to be a move-in date to an apartment, I kept getting nervous, and it was really the contrast that kept fucking me up. Like I was staying at the first hotel we linked at, 'cause we were doing hotels and stuff. Like we were linking, we were sexually compatible, we were spiritually and mentally and just in general compatible. Like it felt like it. So it was like, okay, let's enjoy this vibe together. At the first hotel, the wallet situation happened. At the second hotel, we had the most amazing like Forbidden Forest fruit trip. We was playing Kirby, we was watching SpongeBob, we was lit. Like it felt so comfortable. It felt like this really was like a lifelong partner, or maybe somebody that came from a different dimension. I felt relieved. I was like, oh my God, I found love. We don't gotta like, not that I was looking, but I ain't mad at it. Like I was excited. I was like, I got my little life partner now. Like it felt real. It felt like that 90-day fiance type shit where people are like, no, I just know. I know. And he was putting a lot on me too, so I think maybe I was a little bit easily influenced, but I felt it. He said, I love you really fast. It was like the first or second week. He's like, listen, like I know it's a lot, but I just feel like the vibe, the energy's undeniable. Like this is some soulmate type shit. And I'm like, ooh, like I'm over here. Now later we find out that he has like a love kink. Like he gets off on the love thing, which is cool, but like to an extent. But at the second hotel, it was perfect. We had fun. We was vibing, whatever. Like, and there were some moments where it's like, you know, I had a lot of moments of passive aggressiveness that I felt like were coming towards me from him. And just like a little bit shadiness. Like, you know, you have a friend by your side and they kind of like low key don't like you, but they really like you and they fuck with you and they still want to be your friend. But like they don't like you at the same time, or they don't like your success or something. It was like that kind of energy sometimes, which was crazy because he was so encouraging for me. Like he would really like, the encouragement was so beautiful. He'd be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Like little accomplishments. I released my album. He's like, yeah, woohoo, like let's celebrate. Like, or my EP, I would post stuff. He's like, good job, baby. I'm so proud of you. Like it was so beautiful. Oh my God, the encouragement and the love was so beautiful. Like that's what makes the story time so convoluted and complicated and just crazy and chaotic. Cause like, bro, I'm confused. I am confused. Like he was so sweet. Be like, baby girl, so proud of you. Like, good job, baby. Like just that encouragement, that love, that energy. Like he came correct. But at the second hotel, what happened? Like one moment I was like, oh yeah, this is my husband, because I was having very bad period cramps. I get chills, I get hot flashes, I throw up, I am physically ill. I am for the first or second days or whatever. Probably should go to a gyno, maybe something's wrong, but whatever, we'll find out later. Or not find out at all. Knock on some wood. But anyways, yeah, so like he ran me a hot ass bath. I didn't even have to get up, bro. He went to the store, got me pain reliever, hot patches, everything. Like I would say, he was such a good listener. Like I'd say something and next thing you know, he'd do it. I love chocolate, so he's always putting like chocolate in little cute spots for me. He's like, check your chocolate spot. It'd be chocolate. He'd be bringing me chocolate when I was not feeling well or whatever. He was really just in tune with my needs. Like I was kind of just, no, I was absolutely blown away by somebody who was that in tune with my needs and was willing to cater to them. Like, it was crazy. And I loved that. Like, he was so willing to do, I didn't have to worry about anything. But I'm so, like, I struggle to take from people because of the way things end up. And of course they went this way. Next thing you know, I'm getting Cash App requests and shit, but we gonna get into that, honey. Anyway, so he ran me a bath and put like a private pillow behind my head and was like making sure the water was good and massaging me. And in that moment, I really, like, even though it was still so new, I was like, this is my husband. We was taking Polaroids together. He would keep his in like, or like one of me and like us in the like dashboard speedometer. Like, I was in love. I fell in love really, really quickly. And it hurts. It do hurt because I'm just like, damn, I understand people are multifaceted and I'm multifaceted too, but I was like, damn, like there's just some shit you can't forgive. So anyways, it's all good signs with a few little nothing too concerning yet. All the like scary dark comments were made after we moved in together temporarily into my family's rental home. All the shit that started happening was after we lived together. And I had let him know, like, a couple times I did ask to take space. I asked us to like not see each other because he was ready. He's like, what, I'm gonna see you every day? I'm like, you're driving over an hour. He's like, it could be every day. If you want to see me, just let me know. Like, he was red tea. So I was like, okay, cool, like, damn. But then it got to the point where it was getting too intense. And there's a certain boundary you keep with people you're not romantically involved with and intimately involved with. The reason, you know what, let me not act like I know anything, but I speculate the reason that domestic issues are so prevalent is because there's that heat. I don't want to say heat of passion because people actually do lose their lives over this stuff, but like there's a certain level of just heat, intensity that comes with a romantic relationship. When you are giving yourself to somebody, when you are fucking and sucking and having sex and giving yourself away spiritually and stuff like that, it's intense. So the arguments and disagreements you have, whether you think it's a soul tie or whatever, trauma bond, twin flame, whatever, are even more intense because you are so intensely connected with that person. Like, you are intimately intertwined together. And so we were in all that stuff too. Like, shit was feeling good. Like, it just felt really beautiful and really right. We move in together and or like essentially it wasn't like a full move in, like he never fully moved in, but I just let him know he could start sleeping over because you're driving over an hour to see me. So like, I live here and you can sleep over, and if you want to live here too, then sure, whatever, like let's play house. And so I had tried to remove that aspect a couple times when shit was getting too intense, and I'll explain that in a second, but like I just felt myself like needing some space. It was just too much. I was getting overwhelmed, and he would like peer pressure or talk me out of it. I know I'm a grown woman, but like I am kind of easily influenced by a partner if I feel like I can submit to you. So if you're like, no baby, like you being crazy, come on, like, you know, it's just us. I'm like, all right, you right, like da da da. So he'd be like, just give me to the weekend to prove myself, just give it. So I tried to like take space or like break up a couple times, and like that did not go well. But I started to get a little uncomfortable in the house. Like, first it was really great. We had that like anime, watching anime, playing video games, getting high, getting drunk, getting cross vibes. Like, he would shotgun me, we'd just be high off our ass. I was a little flustered because I wasn't getting as much as I wanted done. Mind you, I just traveled the whole year. I was sitting on a lot of content, and I still am. I'm gonna get it all done before certain deadlines, but like I just stopped posting. Like, I was posting every single day while I was traveling and getting my YouTube popping. And I came home and I just, like, nothing was going up. We were just crossed every day. We were dropping like $50 here and there, eating out constantly. He would smoke me out a lot. There was one moment where he's like, I had asked, like, the first time I had asked, he would always smoke me out and shotgun me. And then the one time I asked, it was like, oh, you want this? I was like, oh, keep it, because we're not doing that. He's like, no, you my wife. Like, you know, I'm gonna smoke you out. And then later it was like, oh, like, I felt like the weed became an issue and this and that. Just too much. Like, don't give just to dangle. That's my problem. Don't give and then, oh, you want, huh? Oh no, here, I insist. Here, you want it? Like, I don't like that type of energy. So I got a little hesitant taking stuff. We lived together, and I had took out my boxes out of storage and everything. I had all my stuff available. I should have just left it in the boxes, but I was looking for this sunset lamp, okay? Like this really cool sunset lamp that just created the vibe of the room. The room was, yeah, we're living with a tenant who's eating our food. Yeah, the vibe's weird. Yeah, sometimes we have heat, sometimes we don't. We got space heaters, whatever. Sometimes there's a bug or two crawling around, and we're living on a bubble buddy bed on an air mattress and a couch. But we was happy and in love, so we didn't give a fuck. We was thugging it out type shit. And I was like, wow, like, I appreciated him because I was like, he's here while I'm thugging it out, trying to figure shit out with my family, this check, my life, what I want to do, coming back after traveling the world for so long. I had been gone since January and only came back a couple times. Like, I was readjusting and he was there for it. And I was like, damn, like, you'll do anything to be by my side. I appreciate that. Like, he was showing up, etc. And I told him, I was like, listen, like, if you don't want to pull up all the time, because I know that drives fatiguing, you don't have to. If you want to spend the night here, you can. If you want to leave your stuff here. So our stuff starts intertwining, like intermixing or whatever. And I don't consider myself the super possessive type unless I feel like you're purposely messing with my stuff. So I had took out like everything on my boxes to find this one sunset light. I took some fire ass photos for him. We would have it on at night. It was just a vibe. You'd be crossing, you're just looking at the pretty colors, watching freaking anime and playing Kirby. Like, it's so nice. So I took all my stuff out the boxes, but that left my stuff exposed. So I tried to start like, I knew I wasn't gonna live there at my family's rental property because unfortunately they may or may not lose the house. So it was only like 2 months of being able to stay there, and me and him were both paying rent towards my parents for staying there. And so I took everything out and my stuff was kind of all over the place. So the room got really overwhelming. He had his stuff in there too. All our stuff is mixing. It's a small room. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I got like 5 boxes of stuff. He was bringing his TV, his PS5, all that stuff. He claims he had his webcam and capture card there too. I never saw it. I never touched his stuff. If I moved anything, it's a very obvious move. It's not like, oh, I'm hiding something from you. My stuff started getting hidden. I didn't appreciate that. I'm a sex worker. I have toys. My vibrator, my $100 vibrator that was a gift from a client, ends up in the fridge because he didn't like me using it. He's like, I'm right here, you could, you know. And I'm like, sometimes I just need to work, bust one real quick and call it a day. It's not about me being sexually attracted to you or whatever. He's like, you need to get a mold of my dick and use that instead of your toy. I was like, sir. Anyways, but he would hide he called it the Whirly Dirly 3000 or something like that, which was pretty funny. He was a very funny person. I'll give him that. He has a great personality aside from these little things that I couldn't get past seeing romantically. That's why I thought we'd be good friends, but I understand there's too much passion and history or whatever in the 2 months we've been together or we're together. But anyways, he called it the Whirly Dirly. I find it in the fridge. Don't mess it up. Nigga, you gonna fuck up the batteries. Like, the fuck? I find that in the fridge. At one point he was being petty. We had a fight. He puts a McDonald's smoothie in the cabinet. I never checked. So now if we got roaches, it's because you got a rotting ass, it's separated. You know, smoothies separate, that bitch separated, liquid and then chunky mush at the top. And I was like, why is there a McDonald's smoothie in the cabinet? He's like, oh, I was being petty that one time we fought. And you were giving me bugs? The one time we had a bug in here, I had to kill it because you were screaming. Like, neither one of us want bugs. Why? And we're supposed to live together, mind you. We were talking about getting an apartment together after the trial run at my family's crib. So my stuff is getting put all over the place. At one point we have a big fight and he leaves with my things. Not all of them, but some of them. I'm missing like the top half of a neon pink gym set or neon green or whatever. I'm missing this, I'm missing that. So he leaves because we had an argument and he takes all his stuff with him, but he takes some of my stuff. And he's on this like F you energy, don't contact me. Oh, now you blowing me up. Why are you blowing me up? You got my stuff. My items have left the proximity of the house I'm staying in. I don't like that. You got shit in your car. He has some of my stuff in the crib he's staying at an hour away. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what you do and do not have. And I am not really a stuffed person. I am more of a minimalist. But some of the things I have are very sentimental because they're from travel, they're from friends, they're irreplaceable, they're one-time items. Like there was one hat he was trying to take. Like he was like, okay, we have an interchangeable wardrobe. I liked it. I was wearing his hoodies. He was wearing some of my stuff. He would wear some of my jewelry. I'd wear some of his stuff. But like my shades, like he would just, oh, I'm keeping these like shades I have from photo shoots and stuff like that. Oh, I'm having this. Or I'd see him like with little things here and there. And I'm like, damn, now my stuff like kind of going missing. And I realized like he would do the same thing with his ex. Like he had things from his ex that he's like, well, I kept it because it looks good on me. You don't know if that was special to her or not. Like what? So I got a little uncomfortable keeping my things around him because I'm like, how are we supposed to move in together if you are not only moving my stuff, but then removing things you think I'm not noticing? Now remember that the hotel, my wallet went missing. It was an issue of things going missing. He called it like manifestation demons or something, like, oh, it'll pop up. But when he lost his one thing and I did not mess with it, I did not touch it. Oh, honey, it was a whole damn breakdown. He lost like a tool he needed to smoke and he had to get another one. And like, it was a bad day. It was a bad day because his little smoking tool was missing. But I have my belongings, personal belongings being taken out the house, moved around. I'm being gaslit into thinking that something's over here and it's not. I'm finding shit in laundry bins and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just quirky. Maybe he has stuff going on because he did tell me some things he has going on too. I'm like, maybe it's just little quirks and stuff like that. I can't be in a household where every 2 seconds I'm losing my mind thinking like there was a TikTok on that. where like there was a husband who was like purposely messing stuff up, like loosening stuff under the sink so it would leak, and then the wife would be like, will you fix it? He'd be like, yes baby, I got it. He would fix it, and then she felt like she owed him. Like there's levels to this shit, and it's manipulative as fuck. So my stuff was getting moved around and I didn't like it. Like I couldn't find shit. Like, why is my vibrator in the fridge? Why, huh? And then like when we had fights, it would get bad. One time we FaceTime, he was driving, he hollered at me, or he was hollering in general, yelling in general, and then hang up in my face. I'd hang up quick too sometimes too, but he would hang up in my face. He'd be like, ah, da, da, da. I'm like, damn. It got to the point where like one time there was a fight, he slammed the front door and left it open and went to work. Now I spend a lot of my time in my room because I just work from home. There are some days where I will not even go out of the room if I got a fridge, aside to like pee and stuff like that, or use the bathroom or shower, or like maybe use the microwave, but I'll spend all day in that room. I did not know the front door was open. I just went to go check after him after he stormed out, wide open. If somebody would have came in the house and something would have happened to me because you left the front door wide open and I didn't realize you would do something like that after a fight. He's broken stuff. Like I've broken stuff too. So like during this time period, like so much was going on with my family, with him. I was trying to find a safe space and be comfortable, and I thought it was him, but I think it was just because he was within the chaos. So I thought he was my comfort space, because as soon as I got to an environment where I could finally, I realized, oh no, it's all kind of problematic. Like him, family, all of it, myself, like I needed to just get away and think. And I think it's so important if you're in an environment or situation that's not good to get to somewhere where you could think clearly, even if it's like a hotel for the night, a friend's house, whatever. Get out of that situation so you can look at it from the outside, because oh my gosh. So yeah, we would get to arguing. I started breaking glass at the time. Instead of like self-harming or like lashing out at somebody else, I started breaking glass. That was my new thing. I would break a plate here, I'd break a mirror there. It was all my stuff, so I didn't care. But I was just like, whatever, like I needed an outlet because I was in that much pain. I was hurting that bad, and I never did it around him. Like he might come back and realize, oh, there's glass on the floor, whatever, and I'm like, my bad, let me clean up type shit. But I never did it around him, never hurt that man. He tried to lie on me talking about something I cut him. I was like, what? I was like, there was glass and you got cut, but I did not. Like, and then that's because he went to go touch it. He was like, oh, I wanted to take a cool picture and there was some broken glass still there and I touched it and I'm bleeding. And that was after a fight. Like I started to notice he would do this thing, right, where if like things weren't good, he would do something to make me like care about him. Does that make sense? Like say you have an argument with somebody and you're like, okay, whatever, like I'm done. This person's getting on my nerves type shit. And then they'd be like, oh my God, I got hurt. And you're like, oh my God, baby. Like, oh, why are we fighting? That type energy, he would do that a lot. I started to realize. So like we would have an issue and then he'd be like, oh my God, like, and I'm like, ooh, I can't invalidate you getting hurt or you like, you know, something happening, but it's happening a lot. Like we'd have an argument. He's like, oh, I just got stopped by a cop. Help, it's an emergency. Like it'd be an immediate, like chaotic emergency every single time we argued. And sometimes he would start it. Like, so I'm like, it just, I don't know. It was just getting a little strange, y'all. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and validate it like shit was happening. But it's like, if you're gonna go do something reckless after we get into an emotional argument, we need to take space. I've been telling him, I was like, we need to take space. Like it's getting too intense emotionally. Clearly shit is very dysregulated. We both speculated that we had BPD and depression. And for me, I have mellowed out severely, but like I can get easily triggered by somebody purposely trying to trigger me. So there was just little behaviors like that, or like, bro, yo, it was so much. But anyways, I got into the glass breaking thing, but I never have hurt anybody. I never have like done anything to maim nobody, nothing crazy. I have never hurt him. I've never hurt nobody. I'm not physical. I'm not a physical person. At one point we got in an argument and he starts like, he got us, see, it's just the contrast. Again, like one day he comes home and he has all this painting stuff. He has paint. He's like, we should do Forbidden Forest Fruit and trip and paint together. We never got a chance to do that, unfortunately. It makes me sad. But we were going to push it to like a cabin trip we were supposed to take. But yeah, so we got painting material so we could paint, like just really stuff that was healing to the inner child. At one point we argued and he breaks the canvas right next to me. He's like stomping it out. I'm in the room with him and I'm just tense because I'm like, oh shit, like, are you about to attack me next? I don't know. He's like, you know, I'm not gonna attack you. I just be crying and shit. I'm like, no, you get pretty intense. So like that was one of the worst fights too, because like he broke it, started stomping on it and threw it, and I was like, oh, I'm right here. I'm in the room with you. So I'm like, is it limited? Is your aggression limited to that canvas, or can you come for me? Like that was my thought process. And just from the way he'd been talking and stuff like that. So it was the contrast of like, oh my God, buying paint stuff. Yes, let's trip on shrooms together and da 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 da. I'm gonna also break this in front of you because we got to arguing about stupid shit, y'all. That's the craziest part too. Like, so my personal space, I realized I needed more. He told me he was codependent. I didn't realize to the extent. If I took a shower or a bath too long, it was problematic. If I was not cuddling him a certain way, at first it was cute. He would set extra alarms in the morning, so we had like 15 minutes together before he went to work of like being aware, cuddling each other, looking each other's eyes. I couldn't do that every single night, unfortunately. Sometimes I stay up till 4 a.m. editing and grinding. Sometimes I don't feel like cuddling. Sometimes it's hot. Sometimes I'm not sleepy. Like, it happens. I was getting held accountable for that. He told me I just need 10 to 15 minutes of your day. Honey, that's not the truth, because I was giving him like 10 to 15 minutes of undivided attention. I would give him more. Sometimes we would talk for hours, but like he got very defensive over anything that took my attention away from him and him only. Me being on my phone, oh, I got called out of it. So he would hide my phone from me. Like, I'd have it here, and next thing you know, it's like behind something else, like, so I couldn't be on my phone. Baby, I'm a social media person. Like, I be on my phone a lot, but we had plenty of moments where it was just me and him, straight. No phone, no distraction, just me and him, happy, talking, conversating, vibing. And I think he just wanted that direct stream of that constantly. Like, no, only focus on me. And I'm like, that's intense for some people. Sometimes I like friends with, I know we could just do our own thing together. We're in the room together. We're vibing together. You could be on the game. I'm doing my own thing. We're happily coexisting. There's no weird vibes. Sometimes I love that vibe because people got shit to do. And you can't go from adult friendships where y'all checking on each other when you can, and you know, you try to make time when you can, to go into a relationship. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, relationships can take up a lot of your time. Yes, it's important. Of course, most people want to end up with somebody and their lover and shit, but you gotta find a healthy balance. And I'm promising myself I'm not losing myself in a relationship again. I'm not giving my full 100,000%. Okay, I'm not gonna lose myself in my hobbies and what I love to do. I'm not gonna become my partner and completely lose my identity. I got shit to do too. And if you can't love me as an individual within a companionship, then you just don't know how to love me. Like, I'm a workaholic. I love being overly stimulated. I want to be financially set one day so that even if I don't have to work for survival, like money-wise, I can just work for myself. I could write, I could make music, I could do whatever. Like, your girl just released the EP. I'm supposed to be dropping these YouTube videos, man. I've been sitting on shit. I've been holding shit from y'all because I've been having my time taken, and I was voluntarily, willingly giving it up. But when he made it seem like it was never enough, like, y'all, never enough. We would hang out all day, and it was like, well, what's the plan today? Okay, well, what's the vibe? And I understand like some people need that structure of like, how do I move so I know how to interact with you? But if it was problematic. My work was kind of an issue. He told me the sex work wouldn't be an issue, but then I would do calls and he'd be like, that's fine, it's fine. And he told me, he's like, your sex work character and who you are as a person interacting with me, there's a very thin line, or like there's a very blurry boundary, because your sex work character is so convincing. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I make the bread I do, because I'm gonna like, hey baby, I know how to make you feel special. Yeah, yeah, baby, I've been doing it for years, so I know it. And there is a level of genuineness to it too. It's not just like, I know names, I know customers who have looked out for me, clients who've been here for a minute. I know some of their problems. Like, I'm still a genuine person. It just means that nobody's gonna like get with me. But you know, I'm genuine within my line of work. So like, there was an issue with that. I had a friend come visit for one point, and she was homeless, unfortunately, living in her car. I had her come stay with me. I was putting her up, trying to cover her rent and stuff like that. And he got defensive about that. He's like, oh, you're going to spend all day hanging out with her. You won't have time hanging out with me. I'm like, bro, I'm being spread thin. I feel like I got kids right now. Like, what? Go get you a hot, bro. I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I was trying to encourage him to like, take the fixation off of me. I understand fixation. I understand the level of obsession, especially when you're depressed or mentally ill and you fixate on something that, oh my God, this saved my life. So-and-so saved my life. It's a beautiful thing, and it's also extremely unhealthy at times, straight up. If you let somebody or something be your fixation instead of trying to self-regulate or get meds or help that you need, you're putting so much pressure on that person. I did that in my last relationship. Why can't we just be better? Why can't we? Girl, shut the fuck up and go do something. Go do something. I was not busy enough. I was not. I was too focused on the other person and their happiness and their joy that I was willing to give myself until I sacrificed everything. And then when I realized they could not match my energy, I got resentful. And I saw that happen with this relationship. And I'm like, oh, not my mirror. Not my mirror. I actually ended up reaching out and apologizing to my ex, because while he has done some stuff to me, I realized I contributed as well. With the whole like, I've been and done so much for you, and why can't you love me? Like, that's nobody's fault. If you gonna love how you want to love, but stop blaming people if they're not gonna love you back the right way and you choose to stay. Like, bro, a bitch is almost 30. Like, I get it. I'm grown. And this experience made me like scared to date. I'm like, damn, just dealing with somebody who's very overwhelming and just making you feel like, it got to the point I felt like I was never doing anything right. I'd be so excited to hang out with him, and it got to the point where it got a little like, ooh, like it felt like I was like not passing a test, or I wasn't doing something right, or like I was being studied, like, and he in the psych field, so you know what he doing. But yeah, there was a lot of pressure. Like, he told me he was codependent, but like I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to take a vacation by myself, and like the way he made me feel, like he was like, oh, okay. Like, it was an energy thing. I let him know, I'm like, you gotta fix your energy a little bit, because like it's really a bit draining to be around. When I'm in a bad mood, I try to isolate, because I don't like putting that energy on people. And he had this like, no, like you don't have to do it alone. I want to be there with you through your bad moods. And I'm like, oh no, I really just want to come out of it and get my little God complex back for a second and be right on top of my bad bitch mode type shit. He's like, no, we gotta do it together. And I think I realize it now. It's because he wanted somebody to do that for him. But when he's in his bad moods, he's in his bad moods. And you until y'all are both having a bad day, nothing works. Like, I tried nonchalance. I tried like, listen, I realized, I told him this too, because I'm straight up. I was like, I can empathize with you. I can have love for you. I can help you with what you're going through without sacrificing my mental health for the day. You're in a bad mood. You're not feeling well. I'm sorry. I'm here for you, but I do not have to go down with you. I can be by your side, holding your hand, trying to pull you up. You cannot be pulling me down. And that was the problem. I felt like it was more so like, I'm gonna pull you down. We're gonna be miserable together until we're both happy again, on some codependent shit, versus like, okay, I see where you're coming from. It didn't mean I didn't care about him. It didn't mean that I didn't give a fuck about his emotions. It meant that I go through enough emotionally by myself. Whatever's going on with myself, family, my own internal struggles and battles, I don't need yours tearing me down too. But I can still look out for you and try to help you fight the good fight. That's all I was saying. And he took it as like, oh, I'm not responding well. You're being nonchalant. You don't give a fuck about me no more. This, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, I just can't. I don't got no more breakdowns in me right now. I'm chilling. Like, I'm happy. I'm glowing. The skin is glowing. Life is good. Like, I want life to be good for you too. So I was doing my best trying to be his joy. But I'm like, the way the fixation, I think he's realizing it now that he's like maybe out of it. I'm hoping. I don't know. Maybe I'll get more hate comments on my YouTube. Anyways, yeah. So it kind of was that mentality. And it got to the point where like, if he was in a bad mood, you were going to feel it. If my time went somewhere that wasn't him, he got really defensive. He didn't want me like, he'd be like, oh, you can go on a trip by yourself. And then the whole time be like, well, I hope you have fun with whoever it is. That's not me. I felt like I was hanging out with Eeyore at one point, straight up. And I know I get that way too, but it really felt like Eeyore, or just like, it was just so passive aggressive. And it felt like a lot of shame was being cast on me. I couldn't do nothing. It was like, oh, I guess she'll just, leave me behind, and knowing there were some things that I just needed to do by myself sometimes. Like, why can't I take it? At one point I was really upset with us. And instead of exploding on anybody, because he almost wanted me to explode on him so he could be like, you're mean. I went to go take a shower. I was taking a lot of showers. I take a lot of showers anyways. And that was my way of regulating. I like when the water's super hot and I'm just like, ooh, sa. At one point, he knows I'm about to go in the shower. I'm getting it ready. Usually I ask before I go in if like it's one bathroom, like, does anybody need to go? I did. I went ahead and put my towel down, body wash. I go back in. He has like sushi and his phone by the toilet. Like, oh no, we're going to do this together. I'm like, no, I need to be left alone. Like, you got to respect that. Like, I've had that issue before with people who force it. No, in this moment, we're going to talk about it. We're going to figure it out right now. Some people can't do that, because if you're going to push them, they're going to lose their shit. And then you're like, oh my God, you snapped on me. Yeah, because you're fucking right. Like, come on now. So I will remove myself until I am ready to address the situation. Otherwise, I will lose my shit. Like, it's that simple. And it's like, he wanted me to lose it so bad. And I had to be really careful, because like, it was the energy thing, and I felt like he was trying to really paint, even to this day, like he was talking about like, do I have your permission to make a story time if we end badly? How am I supposed to be your wife? You talking about you trying to marry me, but you also talking about story times if things become catastrophic. You too ready. You talking about canceling me. He said I got in at the right time after he figured out like I did social media and like adult stuff too. He was asking me about my numbers, because I know people see the numbers and the OF and they think I'm just rich. So he's like, how much are you making? Are you the breadwinner? Like, it got really weird. He would do shit like watch my pen, or like he'd jokingly like memorize my card, or like watch me swipe and pin shit at the store and be like, wow, is that your password? Oh, okay. Like, he was trying to get in my passwords for everything else. Like I told you, he was in my cloud, my OneDrive, my phone. He was trying to get my passwords for like everything. And I saw him log into his ex's old shit too. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to go, honey. Like, It got to the point where I couldn't keep no banking apps on my phone. I did not keep anything Face ID on my phone. Cause like you're already violating. You're sending my private messages to your phone between friends. And during that time I was reaching out for help. I had reached out to my ex because he had a place. I'm like, hey, listen, like if I could live with you for a second, would you consider that? I know we did not end well, but I'm starting to like, I have a mirror to myself or who I used to be. I'm starting to realize how intense it is to have somebody who's this emotionally dysregulated, and I think I need to get out of this situation. I started reaching out to friends, going out to dinner, etc. Just putting down some roots, okay? So no weird shit happens, okay? Like, anyways, I digress. So yeah, us living together showed me how intense and how bad it would have been if we up and signed the lease immediately. My stuff was being tampered with, and then my emotional state and like my psychological well-being was being tampered with. It really was like mental warfare, and it just was like, unless he was like, he had to smoke a lot. He called it self-medication and shit, but like he had to smoke before he was kind of in a better mood. So it was kind of like, oh, what kind of day are we about to have? Okay, and I don't want to encourage that. Like, oh, can you please go smoke or drink so you can be in a better vibe? Like, I'm not going to encourage that. That's how you get addicted to shit. Like, so I was just over here like, And then I was high and drunk all the time, ignoring a lot of stuff. I have notes. I don't know if I want to go over some of them real quick. I am going to revisit some things. But yeah, living together just did not go well. I was having a lot of breakdowns, and now I realized like, oh, he was not helping at all. He was being really sweet. Like when my money was low, he'd go get food, like not complain at all. He's like, here you go, like $40 or $50 in pizza type shit. He was always driving everywhere, but I did match energy. I would buy us a bunch of stuff too. I matched energy, I really did. I just had to cancel our Asia trip, unfortunately, but that was about to be damn near fully funded with flights. And the only thing I asked for was like help for accommodations and pocket money, because come on, we'll get into it, y'all. It is crazy, but let me see. I don't even really want to share the notes. I'ma just you could kind of tell the like consecutive order too. At the hotel at one point, like we were getting kinky. I was gagged, and he like slapped me really hard. He was like really kind of testing the boundaries and stuff. And I couldn't figure out what I liked as like a submissive, like freaky thing, and what I was like, ooh. And a couple times there were some boundaries crossed where I had to let him know like, hey, this is too far, because like we needed to talk about this before this happened. He's like, okay, my bad, like next time it won't happen again type shit. I have in quotations, he said, are you scared? I said no, or I think I shook my head because I was gagged. No weird shit, I'm not being held, nothing, no, I was voluntarily gagged. But he was like, are you nervous? And I was like, yes. And then he reassured me the slapping was a kink only, but he got too comfortable too. Like he almost slapped me in front of my parents' house. Like he started slapping me a little too comfortably in a non-sexual manner. He started choking me in public, like a possession thing. Like we'd be in the middle of a fucking Wawa. He'd be like, oh, people are looking. I'm like, yeah, they're probably fucking concerned. Like, sorry, excuse my language. But he knows to be really sweet. I'm seeing him under, like, I'm writing out all the compliments. He'd tell me I look good, this and the third. Like he was just, oh man, the pillow talk baby, all constantly. Like he spoke eloquently. I love somebody who knows how to speak to me, and that's how he spoke me out of a lot of the things I was trying to pursue, such as leaving or taking space. So like he would just sweet talk me back into shit and wrote me in. He did stuff like painting my nails, offered to tangle my hair, running me a bath, us watching SpongeBob. Like I wrote down everything. It was good and bad. Hold on. My bad, it was work. It was good and bad. At one point we had a choke off, and it was funny at first. It was like an LMAO, we're so crazy, like crazy in love. And we were having like a choke off respectfully, because we both like being choked. And he's like, LOL, like look at us, like we look deranged. And imagine if somebody saw us from the outside. One point he thought it'd be cool to like, I thought it was a cool idea too. He's like, imagine we put cameras up for like 24 hours and people just saw us interact. And I was like, yeah, it's cool, like the candid content or whatever, but I think it just got fed into like, there's a point where it's like, oh my God, we're so crazy, but we still love each other. And then there's like, okay, no, we need to be accountable for our behavior, because this is not healthy. And if we're actually going to like one day possibly have a family or be a family within each other, this cannot continue type shit. There was a moment, I'm not gonna get into it, but like he tried something without asking my permission, and it really fucked with my head, and I shut down. And I didn't like it. He apologized for it. He's like, I should have asked first. It was like something sexual, and I wasn't vibing with it. And then it was just a lot, just kind of pushing the boundaries. Some stuff I did like, the dominance, the possession of it, and other times it was like, ooh, how serious are you? I feel like you're getting a power trip from this. I have in quotation smoked you out for free. So then I kind of was like, I don't want to smoke anymore. I've been smoking too much anyways. You don't gotta smoke me out for shit. I actually want to be sober and kind of think. And it was just a lot, like, at the house again. Like, my stuff was getting moved around. At one point, I did put my stuff in storage because he started making some comments. At this point, we had already, like, I think applied for an apartment before things got too bad, and we were gonna live together. And then a bunch of stuff kept happening. But, like, I had actually recruited one of my parents' help to put my stuff in storage, because I was like, I'm packing everything up in boxes and putting it back. Like, I'm finding my shit all over the place. I don't know what he's taking in and out. At one point, we had a fight, right? He was bringing his stuff in and out. Like, he's like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm taking all my stuff with me. And then I'll be over there crying, like, no, like, damn, like, you really left, this, that, and the third. Just emotionally terrorized over whatever arguments we were having. Again, over stupid shit. Oh, you're not spending enough time with me. Oh, this, that, and the third. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't have my peace. I didn't have my peace in that house, unfortunately. Sometimes he was my peace, and sometimes I found the peace outside of him, genuinely. But I had recruited a parent's help to help me move my stuff in storage, because I just, like, it was just too much stuff in the room. It was getting messy. I didn't know what he was tampering with. Like, I didn't know what I could keep around him. So all my stuff went in storage. I wanted to do it before he came back home, so there was less of a reaction, or he didn't take it personally. But unfortunately, my parent got the U-Haul stuck in the, it rained. They parked it in the front yard, and so it got stuck, and we were there, like, all day. But eventually, all my stuff did get moved to storage. So I was like, okay, it's just me and you in this room. Let's see how you act. We were vibing, and then one time we were high. The weird comments were made about, like, because I was going through it with my family. He's like, what if one day we got the ultimate revenge and we, like, our parents and then ourselves? And I was like, and in that moment, I was like, oh my fuck. I was like, I don't have a car. I can't, like, so I was like, I can't sit here and act normal and be like, yeah. I was like, no, like, that goes against everything I believe in. I could literally never even think that way. So that was the biggest red flag for me. And I just stood there, and I know he knew I was shocked. I shut down. I disassociated for, like, a minute or two, because I was just really scared. Like, we had a bunch of shit planned, apartment, we were supposed to go on a trips, like a couple trips actually, like island, cabin, all this shit. And he said that, and I was like, oh my God, like, you have to be in a different headspace to even consider that. Like, you be joking a lot, but, like, I'm like, I can't even put my brain in that thought process. And I'm like, let me let him know I love my family very much. And he would say weird shit before, like, we fight, and he'd be like, oh, you're not answering, I'm gonna have to pull up on your family. I know where you're at. I'm gonna have to pull up on you and your little brothers. And the way he said it, I'm like, you know, you're saying it like ransom note type shit. So it's a little, like, you know what you're trying to imply. And he's like, oh, no. Yeah, you know what you're trying to do. Scare people. But anyways, so yeah, he said that. And I remember I was just sitting there, and I was high. Because first he was like, no, I can't tell you. And I was like, tell me. Go ahead, tell me. And he told me. And I was like, oh my fuck. I started to realize the extent of what I was in. And it was going to be as bad as he allowed it to be, and how bad I allowed it to be. And I sat there, and he texted me. He's like, damn, I messed this up, didn't I? And I was just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, duh. Why the fuck would you say that? I love my family so much. It don't matter what we go through. I can't even think that way, that you would joke about something like that. A life? Taking life. And that's after you drove in the car with me over 100 miles per hour, over 110 miles per hour, 115 miles, 117 miles. You drove in the car with me. You have shown you don't care about my safety by leaving the front door open. Just weird shit. Like, so anyway, he made jokes. So I think all men make these jokes at this point. Oh, if you cheat, somebody's dying. Oh, if you, or maybe I just keep ending up around the wrong ones. But if there's anybody else, I'll kill both of y'all. I got that in quotations over here. He would do things like, it was just really aggressive. Like, we were both very generous, but he'd do things like, okay, well, go ahead and make me some money, or go make my money, like, with my work and stuff. He'd be like, you're paying for dinner tonight, you're paying for this. And it's not that I didn't mind, but, like, the moment you tell me I'm about to do something, I'm already like, because I do like my men being providers, but I'm also a spoiler as well. But, like, the moment you tell me, we went on a date, that was a bad night. I think that was a night of the full moon or some shit. But he was saying weird things out loud about, like, he's like, oh, somebody got our food before us. Oh, I'm about to... And people were starting to look, and I'm like, he would blurt out the N-word hard ER, and I let him know it made me uncomfortable. Like, he did it twice, once in Walmart, once in public, and we were around black men when he said it. And mind you, not to bring colors into this, but, like, he is a lighter complexion of the brown. So I just wasn't fully comfortable, because I was like, I don't say hard ER. I automatically think about slaves and everything they went through. Like, I just don't like it personally. I know some people and comedians try to use it ironically, or like to show racism in a certain way or whatever. I know there's reclaiming stuff. Some stuff I don't think you can reclaim. It's too much nasty, dark negative history with it. And so he would say it a lot, like I guess in a gamer sense or whatever, but I let him know it made me really uncomfortable, and he kept doing it. The other day he's like, oh, you monkey. And I let him know, I'm like, why are you calling me a monkey? Like, just weird shit would be blurred. I'm like, it's giving. I'm not trying to be problematic, but like, I let him know too. I was like, it's kind of like, reminds me of somebody who has Tourette's, or like, I feel like maybe you might get along with somebody who has Tourette's. I'm really not trying to be problematic. If y'all want to try to cancel me or whatever, but that's what it was. Like, he would just blurt things out. He'd be like, oh, you, and I'm like, stop. You about to get your ass beat in a Walmart by another black man. Like, why are you blurting these things out? I let him know it made me really uncomfortable. But he was also up in my family's crib cooking breakfast for me and my brothers. Like, bro, and he would do stuff like he wanted to always be first. He would ask me what I've done and what I've not done. Like, have you ever done this? Like, okay, no, you didn't know another partner. He always wanted to be first. So like, there was some like, I've never swallowed gum. He's like, oh, you're going to. Yeah, you're going to. No, you're going to. Like, that first is going to be mine. He would ask for stuff that I wasn't comfortable with. He said for Christmas, he wanted a Polaroid of me sucking his dick. I let him know that like doing tapes was the only thing I did with my ex. That was like a 4-year relationship. I really thought that was my forever person for a minute. So I was like, all right, we ball. And I let him know, I was like, I would never probably do that again. Maybe with my husband, maybe. But even then, like where I'm at with my sex work, I'm not pressed about it. I want to get my bag somewhere else. Tapes are cool, but it is what it is. And he was like, oh, okay. So then suddenly he was pushing marriage. I think he was going to push it regardless, but he pushed marriage more. And I let him know, I'm like, I am trying to get out of sex work. I don't want to make new tapes for people. And he's like, are you sure? I don't think you really want to get out, this, that, and the third. At one point, we started, oh my God, bro. Damn, this is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. And y'all, at one point, we started a podcast. No, he had his own podcast. He invited me to the show. We started 2 couples pages. I just deleted them. He literally I feel like there's going to be a part 2 to the story time. Hopefully not. He just messaged me from one today talking about some, resurrected or whatever. No, that's too dramatic. Reactivated the page and messaged me from it because I blocked him on social media, but I have him unblocked with text message. I'm like, I don't need you on social media. Like, he was watching me from his main page and his spam account, which I clocked and I had blocked. He's like, oh, you blocked me. And I'm like, we're dating. Why are you watching me from a main and spam account? Like, what? You're watching my story or whatever. But we were supposed to start a podcast, and we had some really good video clips where we were getting into it. We was talking about some good shit. Like, I really think he would make a really amazing impact on this world, like mentally with what he has to say, but just behavior wise, some things really have to change, and he needs to clock it before his little temper or whatever gets out of control. But we did a couples thing. It was jumping. And I took those down because I realized, I was like, ooh, this is not somebody I could be with. And then with the podcast, at one point we were recording on my laptop with the webcam, and he made it seem like he stopped streaming, and he still was. And then like he had come on to me at one point, like trying to fucking shit. And I called him out, and he kind of like downplayed it. He didn't really address it, but I'm like, you just try to like essentially create a sex tape in a way, because the camera's on. You know the camera's on. So all it takes is you taking, he had a flash drive. I'm like, all it takes is you taking those clips, putting it on a flash drive. Now you got revenge porn of me, because you stopped streaming after a podcast episode one day. But I guess we're not going to talk about that. He was always comparing us to Harley Quinn and the Joker. Not spat in my face multiple times. Oh yeah, I did get spit on. LMAO. And it was like, I struggled because like some of my shit is kinks, and some of my shit I was like, nah, it's disrespectful. Like, we were just literally watching a show, and I just remember like shit coming down my face. You broke bitch. Nasty. Oh yeah, he called me a broke bitch over not having a touchscreen laptop because we had the same laptop. Not technically. Oh, good God. Slapped as a response to... He joked, we were watching F-Boy Island. He joked about some guy riding better than me. And some stuff is just jokes, but coupled with other behavior, I don't think it's funny. That's the problem. Get back to work, get back to my money. A lot of sweet stuff. Not waste her time 2023 in quotations. Oh yeah, sucked me off $2 worth. After, so we were at the like, I hate that he said it in front of a clerk. We had like a gas station. I'm so glad I wrote a lot of this down. We were at a gas station, and like, I think I put something on the counter for him to just grab, and I was like, I'll just cash app you. He's like, don't worry about it. Just suck me off $2 worth. And it said in front of the clerk. So apparently somebody was there. Talked down on his ex's looks. I don't talk down about women. He told me I made him late to work. Acting like I was doing things that I was Went through my computer, wouldn't let me. Oh yeah, so after he went through my stuff, I asked to go through his phone right after, and he took 5 minutes and he started like moving, doing a bunch of stuff, clearing shit out. That was like when we first started dating or talking, and then like he's just like, oh, you can look through it now. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, you just went and purged like 5 minutes of stuff. I'm good. So that has started a big rift between us because I'm like, ain't no way you're in my sex tapes, my cloud, my phone. You're sending shit to yourself. Like, you get my passwords. But when I asked to see your phone for 5 minutes, and I never went through his phone again. I've never been through that man's phone since then. Like, sometimes I would joke about it while we were drunk, and I'm like, ooh, let me like show me what's up. But I would be with him, but like he would not let me go through. He had a bunch of girls on Snap. He's like, oh no, these are friends, this, that, and the third. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, went to the store, bought me more chocolate. Like, bro, it's crazy. It's the back and forth of this note. He goes, I don't have to do anything but die and pay taxes. I'll choose to do what I want. And yet I'm getting Cash App requests. So that happened too. A lot of stuff got thrown in my face. Remember I told you like all our stuff was intermixed? He sent me a Cash App request for like $500 when he knew my money was low, talking about he lost his camera and capture card in the room we were staying in at my family's house. I've never seen that in my life. I never saw him come over with any of those things, and I didn't have it. So after I moved my stuff in storage, because I was like, bro, you're messing with my shit, I'm over it. Like, and I also wanted the space to be clean, in all fairness. It was just getting messy, busy, and I didn't want him touching my stuff. All of a sudden, he claimed there was a missing capture card. He's like, oh, we gotta go to storage, or go to storage. Are you sure it's in storage? I'll take you to storage. Like, I think he just wanted to know where my storage was and where all my things were. But I mainly own books. I don't own nothing like super expensive, but I'm just like, I think just taking the stuff away, the shiny little things, pissed him off. So now he was like, oh, my capture card's missing, this, that, and the third. Like, you owe me money for that. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Or he was trying to like drop hints about going to Best Buy to buy a new one and this and the third. I'm like, you're taking my stuff out the house. I don't know where you're putting your stuff. Ain't no way you're sending Cash App requests for your things that you're taking out. And he would wait until I was in the shower and bath and then move all his stuff out the house. So you're purposely, he went through everything, laundry basket, everything we shared, made sure he got all his stuff, and then would also take my things too. That's so unfair. I'm taking a shower, trying to get my peace back, and you mad because we argued and I don't want to talk. No explosiveness, no meanness, didn't do anything vicious towards him. Just disagreed. We could not get along. And you taking my stuff too, so I can come out like, oh my God, where's my stuff? You're fucking with my mental health at that point. Why do you think I want to be with somebody and move in with somebody who's going to move like that, where my mental health is a game for them to play with? Like, or a piece on a checkerboard to move around at their convenience or their event, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. At one point, I tried to break up with him because it's crazy because he called me out now and he's like, oh, like, he made it seem like I treated him so bad for letting things go this far. There were multiple occasions where I tried to break up or take space. The one time I tried to break up and take space or something like that, he basically hinted that he was going to off himself if he did. He's like, oh, thank goodness. I'm glad we're back together. Otherwise, I would have drove off a bridge after I left here. Like, just stuff like that made it really hard to leave. When people force side down your throat as a you don't get to leave me, that is another form of manipulation, by the way. And then if you care about this person, you're like, well, damn, I can't leave you now because you're gonna off yourself. But if you're with me too, you're gonna be miserable to me and take me down with you. So it just got really, really bad. A living situation. Damn, this is a lot. Damn. I write little notes to myself too. It said also has denied weed before, stop smoking with him. That was a note to myself. This is all right, it's all here. You're quick. He did thug it out with me in the trap house in the air mattress. We used to wake up smiling at each other because we just, he said, I'm your source, I'm your plug, but then you're being weird with the weed. Like, he would always smoke me out, but there was those couple times where it was kind of like, you want it? I was like, I'm good, I don't want to smoke no more. We'll go back to this note because it's just so complicated. Brought a nightlight to help with my night terrors so we're not in the dark. Quote, you are my joy and body. Don't let anyone take that away from you, as he held me in the bathroom watching anime together. This note is very complicated because love and what looks like love is very complicated too. So I'm glad I captured everything. I want to be fair as I tell this story. He would always fix stuff. Like one time we thought somebody came in the house and like he was already ready, like doing the whole like manly man protect thing. The power would trip sometimes in the back, so he'd go fix it and like flip it. He said I'd move into your asshole if I could. I'm a very forgiving person when it comes to you. Oh yeah, one time like he was wearing something and I didn't compliment it. I was like, oh, you look good. No, I complimented one thing. He goes, and you like my earrings and you like my shirt too, right? And, like just forcing shit, like, Oh yeah, so we would go out. That was another thing. So we would go out. He told me I was buying shit. Like he's like, oh, we're going to DC. You're gonna book this. You're gonna book that. I'm just like, bro. I think he was trying to see how much control he had over me. We were in public, and I didn't like going out with him anymore because like we would run little errands. We were gonna go shopping for Christmas pajamas, like matching pair, and go somewhere else. Before we went into the store, we went to like Lowe's and Marshalls or whatever. Before we went into like the Marshalls, he was like yelling at me or some shit. I remember that. And then before I went into Lowe's, he was like, shut up, or was it vice versa? Something happened. But I wrote down, it was like, shut up, shut up, shut up, right, really loud before we went into Lowe's. And people were looking around like, good God, is she okay? And then I said a loud nagging conversation right before Marshall's, like he was trying to take it public. Like, and when we were out, people would look at us and gravitate towards us because we both look good. And I think he was eating that attention up. But I'm like, we don't need the negative attention too. Like sometimes people are going to stare because they're concerned. You keep doing shit, choking me out. You're a little too comfortable. Like, just doing little, I'm not gonna tell his business there. This note should be longer. There's some stuff that was like, I'm not gonna get into that. If it gets really bad, I might share it, but I'm not gonna get into that. Just some stuff that was a little bit, I know how depression goes. I know how some certain things go. I'm not gonna call him out like that. I'm not trying to come for his throat, but certain stuff I couldn't get with and I let him know. Hold on, let me check the other note because the other one didn't update. Actually, nah, back to the story time. My bad. We'll come back to that note. I'm just skimming it right now. But yeah, so we lived together. I wasn't comfy having my stuff around him. He was just doing little stuff. He was mad passive aggressive. He was so sweet too sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, I can't explain it. Like, he was such an angelic vibe when you needed it. If he was going through it, he would hold you, was the perfect. But I think that's part of the strategy too, where it's like, oh my God, you're treating me so well, I can't leave, so I'm gonna tolerate anything you do to me. And that is not okay. So it got to the point where we did apply for an apartment. This is before a lot of the, like, some of the scarier comments happened and whatever. And we're waiting for them to get back. Because of my income, I got us denied. I did not have the check yet. It would have been really easy if I had the check, but I didn't have it, so we got denied. But he was already ready to start taking some of my stuff. Before I put it in storage, he was like, oh, I could take some of your boxes and put them in like my house over there an hour away. And I was like, ooh, you're too comfortable taking my stuff out of here. It's like, it was giving control. Like, okay, yeah, no, we are moving in. You're not backing out of this type shit. So I put myself in storage. So I was like, ooh, that's okay. He's like, why would you pay extra for storage? Whatever, do whatever. I'm so glad I moved the way I did, y'all. Like, I was in love. It felt like a fever dream, to be honest. So like a lot of stuff, I was disassociating a lot. Like he was like, let me disassociate with you. Like we'll do this together. But I was trying to disassociate from him. Like there was moments I would just be high and cross. And I'm just like, I don't know how happy I am here. Fuck, this is a lot. He's doing a lot. I think he's my happy place. I think he's my sad place too. Damn. I don't know if he's a safe space no more. Like I would just disassociate and then he'd go say or do something. And I'm like, oh, okay, I love him. Oh, no, that was really bad. We can't be together. And so I had that push, pull, tug, toss dynamic, unfortunately. It was what it was. But I digress. So it gets to the point where like the new year hits. We were supposed to go to a cabin and do like a winter trip. Money was funny at the time. I was still waiting on my check type shit. And he already had a check because he had like a car accident as well. So we were both supposed to have bread. I was trying to get the check from like a family member who was like holding it hostage type shit. And I feel like during that time, like it's crazy how vulnerable you could be when you need something and how people will take advantage and hold that over your head. Cause I feel like people saw the position I was in and they're like, oh yeah, we can make use out of this. Like she's gonna owe us in the future type shit. And I didn't want that. So we were supposed to do a cabin. It got pushed off. We were supposed to do like a Christmas gift exchange and we ended up just chilling on Christmas, like baking cookies or something. But I recently just gave him his Christmas gifts. And again, we were in the car. No, thank you. He took the trash, opened my bag while I was outside the car, threw the trash in my bag. He said it was a harmless joke. I let him know. I was like, do that with any other woman, man, whatever partner you want to see in the future. They're not. I had to start thinking of it that way. And it made a lot more sense. I was like, would other people tolerate this? If he was seeing somebody else, how long would they have stayed? And he told me, like, as you saw at the beginning of the video, oh, no one's going to love you 10 years, whatever. Like, and he knows that's one of my, like, I won't say insecurities, but, like, as a sex worker and somebody who's trying to navigate love in this climate, oh, honey, like, yeah, I'd love to find my person. But also, I'm not going to stay with you out of fear of not finding somebody else. That's what we're not about to do. He was like, you're not a lover girl. This, that, and the, oh my God, we still got our text messages. Y'all, I can sit here all day. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this a long story time. Bro, I still got our text messages. He was going back and forth being mean, this, that, and that. Bro, like what? Let me speed this up a little bit. So we get denied and his whole mood shifts. I understand it's very disappointing. And essentially, I think that denial was saving me and him a lot of just stress. I told him I'm scared about the domestic energy. You're too comfortable crossing my boundaries. You're too comfortable peer pressuring me out of decisions I'm trying to make when I say I want to take space, when I want to break up. No, I'm going to off myself. You are too comfortable making me responsible for your happiness. Your fixation on me needs to fade away for this to be even healthy. Maybe we could be friends, I don't know. But if I'm not your lover, girl, wife, girlfriend, whatever, I am your enemy. And that's not fair. That's not fair at all. You're too ready to make me your enemy. When we had a couple fights, he was on my Instagram commenting hateful things and throw up. He was on the way. At one point, I canceled a date because like it got to the point he would come to see me and the energy was just so bad. Like, why are you driving an hour? I told him, I'm like, you're bypassing your family in the house. You're bypassing your friends on your phone. And you're coming to me to share your bad energy. That's fucking weird. I was like, don't do that. You're driving to come share the bad vibe. It's one thing to be in a bad mood and hope that somebody can lift you up. It's another thing to come out with the direct intention, possibly, of putting somebody else in a bad mood. 2 times we hung out, I left crying, and that's when he perked up. He was like, oh no, baby, like, oh my God, emotion. Because I was acting nonchalant, and he got me to the point of tears, and he was like, oh no, baby, come here, like, come on, let's smoke, we're good now. Because I'm miserable too, that's weird. But yeah, so I got to the point he was coming out to see me. At one point it was storming. He was driving in the storm. He's like, look at what I'm driving through to come see you. I'm like, then go home. Like, I was actually trying to cancel. I wasn't feeling the date that day. I think it was like a Wednesday, and I wasn't feeling it, the mood. Like, I'm like, you don't get to treat me any type of way and then be surprised I changed my mind about wanting to hang out because I'm not comfortable around you. Like, so he called me out for that. He's like, I'm confused. I'm on the way. I'm not on the way. You want me to come? He goes, well, I'm coming, and it better be good. Like, you better like prove yourself. That was the energy. Like, you better prove yourself. Well, what we got? Yeah, today was a date day. It's gonna be a date day, and I'm gonna come, and you're gonna deal with me. Y'all, I've never felt so tired. I never felt so. That's when I started getting anxiety over hanging out because I'm just like, damn, you doing a lot. I like being with you. I like your vibe, but if it's gonna be a mixed party bag of emotions every time, and the bad ones are bad, I don't even want to take the risk. So he popped up. We tried to do a date day. At one point it was good. We went to like this game plays. We were vibing. And then somehow it just ended up not so good. I let him know I wanted to be friends with benefits or take a break or de-escalate our situation. And he got really defensive. He was like, let's just be husband and wife for a night. Let's just be like together for a night, just for tonight. And then tomorrow you'll decide. And he kept peer pressuring me. Like, he wanted to talk about our relationship so much, even when we were in or out of it, when I was trying to take breaks, or when we were in it, he wanted to keep talking about it, or he was forcing forever down my throat, forever. And he'd be like, okay, just do today and tomorrow. And he'd be like, what about forever? What about in 3 months? What are we doing? Promise rings, marriage. I'm trying to marry you before this trip. And it was like, damn, it was sexy until it looked like it started coming from a place of insecurity and control. Like, that was the issue. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. So January hits and we got denied for the apartment. His mood changed significantly because he basically let me know he was really excited. I was excited too. He's a streamer, so he wants to, like, you know, game and have that stable place type shit. Rent was $1,500. I was worried about that. He works part-time. I work, but I don't like to work too hard. Okay, I make what I need to make right now. My rent was, well, I'm not gonna tell him. My rent's lower than that right now. Okay, your girl's good. Your girl's situated. Ooh, I got her little spot and But yeah, so he was disappointed about that. And basically everything I said about like, hey, I don't want you to come see me as often because I want to have space to miss you. I don't want you to be driving all this way, wasting that gas and doing this. He was like, no, it's never a waste. You're my baby girl. I'll do whatever to come see you, right? It turned into like, listen, this drive is, he finally was straight up. He's like, this drive is too much. I was looking forward to it when we had an end date. We're going to move in together an hour away where I live. I was going to go to where he lived. And mind you, I don't got no car. I did not get the check yet. And he's been moving weird. That would have been a bad situation. I really think it would have. And I'm not around friends or nobody to like, I can't even be like, oh, I'm gonna get out and go in my car and leave. I don't got a car yet. Like, and meanwhile, I was trying to get this check signed from the car I had lost. Like, bro, it was just too many angles. At one point, my family came and they're like, they were accusing him. They're like, are you okay? Are you safe with him? And I'm like, well, one, if I wasn't, that's not how you would have went about that. But thanks, fam. I guess, like, came in talking about cops and doing the most, and versus like quietly pulling me away and be like, hey, do we need to quietly get you out of here type shit? Anyways, and I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm good, bro. It was just so messy. But yeah, so he got really disappointed, and like, he was like, listen, as far as seeing you this and the third, he started pulling back. I'm like, it's okay, I respect that. So I was thugging it out at my family's rental property. Mind you, it's the middle of winter, no heat. At some points I was crying myself to sleep because it was so cold. I'm in there with a random man who, by the way, this tenant has a record, pages, assault, trespassing, alcohol. I don't know who my family put in there, but they should have background checked him. I'm in there with this man I do not know who has been hostile towards us both before when I was living there with my man, or when he was my man. And I'm in there by myself trying to do sex work and freezing. And thankfully, I showed my crazy side and he did leave me alone. So I think me being like, no, I'm insane too. So the tenant left me alone there, but I didn't want to stay there. So I was out of options. It was cold. It was getting miserable. My family was on my case. It was just like, it was a lot. It was not a good living situation. Like, there would be pop-ups from my family when I wasn't trying to see them. Just a lot. There was a camera in there I didn't know that worked. So I don't even know what got captured on that, but the camera was on there. I was told the camera was off. Just some weird shit, bro. So I reached out to my ex, the same ex I be complaining about. I guess is why you don't burn your bridges. And I let him know. I was like, listen, congrats on being up. If y'all know Storytime, we lived together. He was getting his shit together while I was holding it down. I couldn't handle it. I got overwhelmed. I resented him for it. He's up now. He got himself a nice car, apartment, good to go. I called him. He was like, hello. I was like, hey. He was like, damn, like, is this really you? I was like, yeah. I was like, I wouldn't do this if I didn't have any other options, but unfortunately the economy's hard. My friends are struggling with cars and rental and apartments, and they got 3, 4, 5 roommates. Like, the economy's a mess. We're not gonna sit here and pretend we don't see it and why it's important to have roommates. But when I asked, okay, so that's another thing too. I was like, damn, he needs somewhere to live too. I need somewhere to live. I asked him about roommates. He goes, I'm not comfortable with that. Oh, red flag number, whatever. He goes, I want my own space, this, that, and the third. And I was like, I don't think we need to be in a romantic setting together. He's like, then we could just be regular roommates. I'm like, what's the difference between me as a regular roommate, you as a regular roommate, and another person as a regular roommate? He's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I want a safe space. I was like, I'm being straight up with you. I don't think you're a safe space for me. I think if we move in together, I have not had a safe living space thus far. I think the only one will be living completely by myself. And even though I don't want to do that for rent, but like one day I probably will need to pursue that. I was like, I don't think you're my safe space. And the fact that you don't want another person there, he's like, it's going to be a stranger living there. I'm like, no, I think you want the space to be pushy with me. If we move in together and I tell you I just want to be friends, you're going to push a relationship. You're going to act some type of way. You're going to make me feel like I can't leave. I really feel like that's the case. Like, because you're already showing signs of that. I don't have a vehicle. Like, okay, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get out of sex work. You want to go get $1,500 rent? Like, let me hurry up and get my little YouTube check or whatever. Like, honey, and then you trying to bash me on social media when you know I'm trying to be a social media person. I'm like, go ahead, bash me all day because I got receipts on you. The moment you start joking about family, oh, nigga. I did not want to make the story time, but like, I'm gonna get it out because if any of y'all, if I got some weird shit, like, or if I always have to like, damn, if anybody starts like taking too much of an interest in me, it'll probably be like a client from work, maybe somebody obsessed on social media because I got a bunch of fake pages. You telling me it's somebody I met on Tinder up the street? Locally? Honey, the way I'm about to say nothing about social media no more, none of it. You got Instagram? Nope. No, sir. So yeah, that happened. I reached out to my ex and he's like, yeah, you could, you know, it's not ideal. I'm seeing somebody, but if you need to stay, I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody too, but I'm a little worried. And so like me and my ex actually managed to be, dare I say friends? But I actually did apologize. I was like, I'm sorry. He called me emotional terrorist before and I realized what it was. And I explained this to the person I was seeing. There is a point, especially for people who have depression, where you are so miserable. I've seen it with plenty of people. You are so miserable that you are not able to interact with people in a healthy way anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. You're so miserable in your own depression that either you isolate or you take it out on people. And a lot of people tend to isolate. Some people take it out on people. He's the take it out on people type. I am the isolate, so I don't take it out on people type. And if I'm in a relationship, I usually gotta like back up because I could easily, you know. And so anyways, I start interacting with my ex. No weird shit. Wasn't trying to fuck him, nothing. Wasn't trying to do nothing. I really only had that one person to turn to. I couldn't go to family. I was like, damn, that's probably not a safe space either. But I need to think. Like, I was trying to process everything that had happened, all his comments, the behavior, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And I just needed space to think. Why I reached clarity as soon as I moved into my ex's crib, which I'm out now, but I'm doing my own thing. Finally did my own thing. Got my check, got my income, got my credit. But I moved in with my ex. And I understand that if you're seeing somebody and they say, I need to move in with my ex, that is extremely problematic. But context. I was crying myself to sleep because the house was so cold. It is the dead of winter. I dare you to turn your heat off and sleep there for like a couple weeks. Like, bundled up in blankets, like, honey, bad. Okay? The house needed some work. I'm not even gonna get into that. We not gonna get into that. So anyways, I'm letting him know, like, he's like, listen, I'm not coming here no more. Like, I can't do your family's rental property respectfully. It's just too much, this, that, and the third, da-da-da. I fuck with you. I'm like, you know what? Cool. At least I get some space from him. Get some space, whatever. So now I'm dealing with the conditions. I'm alone. I'm like, damn. So I started missing him. I missed the vibe. We were thugging it out together type shit. And it's not that I wanted him to suffer with me, but it was more so like I just missed the vibe. And he would come to see me and then he would leave. And I'm like, it's kind of hurtful. I'd rather you just not come see me because, like, I don't know what mood you're going to be in. Like, I'd rather just know I need to thug it out and be aware of my situation, get myself out of it. So I had started talking to my ex. He came to see me at one point. I hooked up, not my ex, my Sour Patch. I had plugged up my thing into like his car, and CarPlay was like, oh, she talking to somebody? I was like, damn, that was loud as fuck. My ex's number, which is unsaved, which he actually deleted. He went in my phone and deleted. I was like, don't worry about it. I have no business with him. I actually had to find a screenshot, and I reached out to him because of the housing situation. I'm like, my mental is going into the toilet. I'm not going to sit here and suffer over other people's suffering as well. So he peeped it, but he didn't say anything. And then I eventually brought it up to him. I'm like, listen, this is going to sound crazy, but I need to go live with my ex. And I know that sounds so problematic, but this dude also made jokes about my family. So I'm like, listen, I need to go somewhere. There's nobody else around that I know that got a crib that could put me up type shit. He's the only one stabilized right now. And he did not like that. Of course not. He did not like that. But I just needed to go somewhere. And it couldn't be my family. My family made the situation worse. They did not go about it at all in a good manner. And then they disappeared anyways. They're like, oh, Rally, go save her. And then I'm like, and they were holding the check. I'm like, if you give me the check and give me the resources to get out of a situation that may or may not be bad, I'm still, sizing it up or assessing it, I'd be good. No, we're not going to do that either. Okay, so I'm just supposed to like not have bread, and I'm hanging out with somebody who's treating me well for the most part, enough to try and disguise the fact that he's also not treating me well at all. And I am in a vulnerable position where it's like, I don't want to feel like I'm relying on him. So I have to show that I have resources. I have to show I have other places to go. He cannot think I'm low down and broke. He cannot sit here and see me like suffering or whatever, because he's going to think I'm willing to accept anything because people are treating me however they treat me in my life. That's why you don't tell people how bad people treated you. I know the story time's up, whatever, but my standard, I realized after 2 months, I was like, we're not doing this. You're not the person I marry. Like, you've said some crazy things. You've done some crazy things. You put my safety at risk. Like, you're done. It's done. I left my ex of 4 years because he made a joke about snapping my... Okay, I know you're like, so you went back to live with him? Baby, the options suck at this point. The options suck, okay? And I realized that in the romantic, intimate setting where things are so intense, things are bad. Me and my ex are fine. As friends, associates, whatever, we be chilling, chatting it up. But romantically, something about that heat, that passion, that intensity, got people over here getting physical with each other and doing the most and whatever. So I left him off of that and went to go travel the world off a threat that he made twice. The first time, I tried to forgive it. He said it again. I was like, yeah, it's done. It's a wrap. Like, I don't know what you're capable of. He said that. I'm like, I don't know where your mind's at. So I'm like, this come off the bat. I don't know you for shit. I don't even know you for 4 years to know that, okay, well, you haven't hurt me thus far. You haven't pushed it, or you haven't done anything too crazy. I don't know that. You're saying things that, if I wanted to follow a report, I probably could, but I'm not going to. So I let him know that. He's about to lose his shit. He's telling me all the other things I should be doing. Well, you could get an Airbnb. Honey, have you checked Airbnbs? $1,000 for a room I probably can't even work in because the house gonna be so quiet and I'm gonna be moaning and shit for work and blah, blah, blah. Really? I'm like, do you want to split an Airbnb with me? He's like, well, you can come live with me, but my family member might, I'm not gonna tell their business too much. They let me know it won't be comfortable. There are other males in the house and I just probably would not be a comfortable situation for me. So I'm like, I can't live with family. I'm like, listen, this is the one person I know that got a crib right now. Like, so who do I cash up? I'll send the bread. So he was upset about that, right? And I'm probably going to backtrack in this story a little bit too, because I just know there's so much I probably forgot. But that being said, so I ended up during the cold months moving with my ex. Yes, I know, very problematic. And it was a vibe. Y'all, it was a vibe. We kept our space. He would be at work. I'd be minding my business. I had the house to myself while he was gone. There was a gym. It was actually a healthy living situation. That's crazy. And I was like, you know what? As much as I held it down, you can put me up. Like, I know the bridge is burned, but I'm going to swim across the pond. I'm going to swim across the lake if you'll give me a hand back up type shit. And once I got away from Sour Patch, I realized, oh my gosh, I was living in a dissociative funk a cluster fuck of whatever the fuck that was. It was just a huge ass emotional cluster fuck in 2 months. And during this time, like, marriage was being discussed. I'm like, and he was previously engaged to his last partner who was not of the same race. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm curious if he treated her the same. I'm not trying to make it like that, you know, but I feel like he just got way too comfortable with me, and I let him know. I'm like, you got too comfortable boundary-wise. You're going through my stuff. You're moving my things around. You're in my purse. You're in my bags. My stuff is going missing around you, then popping back up. Like, you're not always treating me well emotionally. You're expecting me to fully handle you being dysregulated. That's not fair. I've done that to an old partner where I'm like, oh my God, my world's crashing and burning. So, help, put out the flames. And they're like, that's a lot. It's kind of hot over there. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Come here. It's okay. Like, it's just unfair. It's unfair. That was my old toxic trait, and I thankfully grew out of it. Maybe the travel, whatever. But like, I had to realize, like, you gotta realize when you're pushing people away and they struggle to be around you, what's up? Is it them or you? Sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's you. Straight up. So yeah, there was a moment my friend came to visit too, like while we were living at the old place, that he was too friendly. I was asleep. They started smoking and drinking. He was like, oh, bad bitches, this, that, and the third. Like, he was like chatting it up with her, and they started exchanging secrets while I was asleep. I woke up, eyes closed. But yeah, they started exchanging secrets. She started telling him stuff that I said about him. And I was like, please don't. He's unpredictable and he's very sensitive. So I don't need you telling him things I told you in confidence. And you're forgetting the part where I said I do want to try to make things work before some of the darker stuff got said. She conveniently left out the part where I said I didn't want to make things work, like before things got dark and bad. And I don't know if she was trying to like help me or help him be better for me so we could work or whatever. But then like they started talking about my sex work and if he was okay with it. I became a topic. Like, they thought I was asleep, but they just started talking about me. And I was like, I'm a little uncomfy because there's plenty of other things to talk about, like whether he's comfy with my sex work. He's like, I don't care. Like, they're paying for her. Like, I got it right here. I don't give a fuck. And like, she was talking to him about stuff, and I just felt like it got too flirty. Like, you know, when people get that, he was trying to get her to like drink more and smoke more, and it just got too friendly. I know what I clocked. And even afterwards, I didn't like I addressed him on it, but I didn't address her. And it was just a really hard time. The holiday season was hard. Like, cause she was homeless at the time. So I'm like, you living in your car, I'm letting somebody in her house. I didn't know who to look at. I didn't know if it was her being problematic or him, cause she had made like a little sexual comment or whatever. And this is actually, it ties into, you know, I'm not gonna say where it's from, cause y'all gonna start connecting dots and like looking at shit. Never mind. But anyways, yeah, I tried to be patient with her because I wanted to give her a safe space because of bro, have you ever been homeless, baby? The housing thing is no joke. Living in your car is no joke. And so I was trying to give her grace, and I felt like he was being too friendly. So I went after him, like, hey, straight up, like, you doing too much. You trying to get her to drink, smoke, y'all talking. He's like, you need to hold your friend accountable. But like, there was a point too where like he was being mean to her when we were getting ready for the club. We were all supposed to go out, and I felt like he was being a little too mean to her. It went from like being overly nice to like being a little bit mean while we were getting ready, and it was I don't know, it was too much. We had a really bad drunk night. And we were fighting. He's like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, no, like, don't drive drunk. Like, you're drunk. Lay down. We'll talk about this in the morning. And he's like, you're mad at me for this. And I'm like, I just saw y'all was being too friendly. Y'all talking about me while I'm sleeping. Like, go do something. What? Like, I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. There's like so many mini story times within the story time. The tenant that has a whole freaking violent ass record trying to start beef with us across the hall. I don't know where my family found him. Please do your background checks. What the fuck? My friend coming to visit, and then him being friendly, like my partner at the time, Sour Patch, being friendly with her, and then me and Sour Patch falling out. Bro, it was just too much to process. It got to the point where I was overstimulated like every damn day. Every day it was something. It was either my family or like it was weird. It was like a weird, subtle version of like a hellish landscape or simulation or some shit, or I don't know what was going on. But yeah, so I let him know. That's why I was comfy too. I was like, you flirting. At one point he had an open relationship with this old girl, and I felt like he was flirting with my friend. I know what I peeped, but whatever. Because he's like, okay. I asked him like that next day. I was like, were you being too friendly, or am I clocking something I don't need to clock? He goes, a little of both. And then she had texted and she was like, oh girl, I'm sorry. I was just trying to test him. I was like, girl, as girls, we only test with each other's permission. Like, hey girl, test my man. And I don't be testing. If I feel like I really love you, I shouldn't have to test you with somebody like coming on to you to see if you'll cheat on me. So that had happened. I'm like, okay, so I did peep something weird. Like, shit was just, I'm like, damn. So now me putting on my homeless friend rent free so she can get back on her feet and get away from a bad situation she's in. And then mixing, I thought it was a family vibe. I thought it was really cute mixing with my partner I'm currently seeing, who's treating me like a princess. We're going on family trips to the smoke shop. We were hanging out, eating food together, watching TV high as a bitch, laughing. And then it just got weird because I'm like, as soon as I fell asleep, y'all talking about me and this, chatting it up, smoking this and the third, being friendly. Oh, girl, drink, da da da. She was talking about somebody she missed. He's like, oh, bad bitches don't reminisce. I'm like, I don't know. It's just getting a little weird, baby. It was getting weird. But so I was like, I need to go live with my ex. And it wasn't about me specifically needing my ex. If anybody else was available with a place I could stay that I could rent from, I would have taken it. As y'all saw in July, I hung out with my friend for the month, paid her, cool shit. So I go live with my ex, and he's telling me all the things I should have did and said. You should have got a generator, this, that, and the third. I'm in this house. I'm having freaking nightmares. Like, just so much has happened. My mental is just so unstable. Like, I'm telling him I am miserable between staying in my family's property, being too close in proximity to, like, my family, who is not always a good, happy, mental, emotional, safe space for me. I gotta take my breaks from them, deal with them in small doses. He's not in the house no more. I'm sharing the room with a man who is a stranger who has a huge record. Okay, he was just in jail for like public intoxication, and he be doing the most. He be getting in the house without even be going through the house. He be leaving the front. He's left the front door open too, bruh. Like, people just careless as fuck. So I was uncomfortable. I'm like, I need to go live with my ex. Like, he chilling, loft, big TV, vibes, whatever. And so he agreed, and I had already moved myself to storage, thank goodness. And I was like, I'm gonna move with my ex. So he starts acting out up until this point, and I move in with my ex, and I have my own room, my own space, whatever at this time. And I just like, my body just, you know how you be in fight or flight for so long, and you just like, you can finally rest. You're like, oh my God, fever dream, all of it. I come to my senses. I'm looking back. I'm looking at what he said and done and whatever. And he's over here stressed the fuck out because he's like, oh, she in there smoking and sucking this man's dick. And I'm laying in there on my Bubble Buddy mattress like, oh my God, what just happened? What kind of holiday season? 2 months? It's been 2 months? What the fuck is going on? Like, what? My ex is like, hey, listen, like, I don't know what you got going on, but good luck, Charlie, type shit. And so we was chilling. I was paying him weekly. I was gonna pay him all at once, but people get their money, they spend it, and then when they don't have your money no more, they start treating you some type of way. So I try to like have some type of insurance of like, please treat me like a basic human being and don't do anything weird or make it uncomfortable for me, and you'll get paid every week. I'll pay half your rent for the month. He was like, that's cool. I need to have my rent paid. I was like, all right, perfect. And that arrangement actually worked out. But during the time I was living with him, this dude, Sour Patch, wanted to pull up every day. I think it was due to insecurity. I know it's not an easy situation to be like, oh, I'm dating you, but you're living with your ex. We know how that goes. But it wasn't going that way because my safe space was so fucked and my mental was so fucked that I was willing to take anything that looked like a possible safe space. I needed to get out of the new environment I needed to heal from, which was my family's rental property with him. Like, what? Like, bro, so much went down. And so, bro, so much went down that I'm still processing and healing from. Like, damn, like, you were creating these beautiful memories for me and then like giving me shit I needed to heal from in the same breath. And I'm over here trying to filter, like, oh, but he brought me chocolate and he's running me a bath and he also called me this and that and more. It's not supposed to be like that. It's really not supposed to be like that. And even the things I communicated to him about that was making me uncomfortable, he kept doing. I was like, all right. So, oh my gosh, bro. Before I moved in with my ex, before we were supposed to move into a place and it got denied, and at this point, I'm good. I just called the place to release the holding fee. We're not pursuing that. I told him I'm not comfortable living with you, with my stuff, my space, myself. I'm just not comfortable. My fault. So I think there was a level of envy of like, oh, you'll go live with your ex and now that's your safe space for the moment. Yes. Crazy, huh? Crazy how that works. And you won't live with me. And I'm like, but look how living with you looked like. Look at what that looked like in my family's rental property. We couldn't get it together for a day. So he starts pulling up like crazy. Now, before all this happened, we had a trip planned to Asia. I booked, oh my God, this hurts. I booked all his flights. It was like a 10-city trip. My dude was going to Singapore. Okay, so he wanted to do Thailand. And I'm like, if you're going to go to Asia and pay that pricey ass ticket, or I'm paying it, we're gonna go to Asia. So like I let him know I'm trying to travel, like I did get the check handled, etc. And I was like, this is a good time to show some love, pay back. I did the Christmas gifts for him. The cabin didn't work out because we were going to put our money towards Asia, so he really wanted to do a cabin. I was like, listen, like if you want to book it, that's cool, but I really want to put our funds towards Asia. That's a big dream for me. He wanted to do the cabin. So I still got him his Christmas gifts. Like I said, the other day I gave them to him, threw the wrapping in my bag, didn't even say thank you. I'm like, ooh, yikes. Anyways, I had, remind you, he was covering a lot of stuff. I was covering some stuff too, but he was covering some stuff. I went ahead and booked all his flights, and he said Thailand, but he also told me he will follow me around the world. He was like, I don't give a fuck about my job. I will quit. And now, of course, that's coming back to kick me in the ass, talking about stuff. I quit my job. This is your fault. I'm like, damn. Before, it was, I'll follow you around the world. I'll go wherever. I don't care about this job. I'll quit right now. If I'm with you, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, okay, sexy energy. Trip gets booked. The doubts start rolling in, the insecurities start rolling in, which is understandable. I'm doing my best to reassure him. I'm like, listen, it's good. Like, this place is super cheap. Like, what we would have spent on rent, honey, you will live in luxury in Asia for like a month or so. So we was about to do my calculation. I'm like, say we were supposed to move in January, right? If we did like even 2 months of rent, $1,500, that's $3K. $1,500 between both of us in Asia, and your flight's already booked? What? So he's like, I'll follow you around the world, etc. So we book Asia, or I book Asia. This man is supposed to go to Singapore, Bali. I'm taking him on like the trip of a lifetime, or I thought I was. Singapore, I just canceled his ticket yesterday, by the way. And I gotta figure out the rest, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. Singapore, Bali, Seoul, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, and then Europe got included because he said he wanted to go to Portugal and Amsterdam. He really wanted to go. I'm like, you know what? Let me add it on. Amsterdam and Portugal is supposed to be in there too. Whole bunch of different cities: Kyoto, Osaka, Seoul, Busan, the south of Thailand, which I've never been. I was excited for. Bali. He shows me there's a Valentine's Day hotel. This is while we're still dating and in love and shit. There's a Valentine's Day hotel. He's like, I want that one. I booked 2 nights, bada bing, no questions asked, $300 something. The flights itself, the main ticket going was like $600. The other smaller tickets added up to a few hundred as well. So I'm pretty sure I already spent over $1K on his tickets. And what else? Ticket home, all of that stuff was covered, etc. He wanted to go earlier. I had pushed it to March. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna live with my ex till then. I want to save. I want to keep adding to the money. Just because I got a check doesn't mean I don't want to still work. I want to keep adding to the bread. I want to get my body right. I want to have time to order stuff. I want to be ready for us to go on this trip. You could work a little bit more, get some more pocket money, because he was sitting on like 2K. I'm like, 2K, you're good. I was like, 2K, your flights are covered. Couple months in Asia, you'll be fine. Trust, like, especially the cheaper places. We made it so that I planned out the trip to the best of my ability. Thailand and Bali, where it's super cheap, we're staying in there. Japan, maybe a week or so. Type, you know, the expensive one. But all the cheaper places we picked out, we were going to do like Hong Kong, different places in China. And I was doing research. I'm like, no, that's more expensive. How do we make the money stretch? Whatever. We're good. Like, between us, we're sitting on like thousands of dollars to go to Asia. I want to go in March. He's like, damn, that's so far, whatever. I'm like, oh shit, okay. He's like, I just thought it'd be sooner. He would drop hints, and if you make a change, it was like, yeah. But he's like, oh, well, no, you elected to. So he was like, I thought we were gonna go sooner. So I moved the trip sooner. So that was supposed to be in February. Mind you, I wanted to leave in March. So I'm just accommodating. I'm just doing my best to accommodate him. I stay in hostels for $10. I don't give a fuck. He goes, I'm bougie, I'm not doing that. So we're booking like luxury hotels, cheap in Bali. We are looking at Airbnbs to split, so this man doesn't have to do a hostel. I think I have 1 hostel booked so far, which was like 2-3 nights, but like you're on a trip for months and you want private accommodation. So I was like, all right, you know what? My coin's going down. I'm like, whatever. I'm excited. I let him know. I was like, I'd appreciate if you're like kind of assistant too. He goes, yeah, that's cool. Cause like, I think he felt a little nervous taking that much from me, like me booking everything. I was like, well, if you're my assistant, you're helping me film, that would mean a lot. That's what a lot of like influencers do. So consider that like a paid way and way to help. So we agree on that. We're still dating at the time, whatever. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, we got this beautiful Asia trip planned. We're good. It doesn't matter. I know I'm living with my ex. It looks crazy. We weren't sharing a bed. I had my own room, own entire space, different schedules. I thought it'd be fine. I'm paying to stay there. Like, nobody's fucking sucking and paying rent, baby. Like, what? I used to hold down. Like, come on now. I'm really here on business. And so he starts pulling up. And the attitude just got nasty. Like, I let him know. It might have looked suspicious, but I was like, between now and Asia, which was like a month, I want to be in the gym. I need to sort through all my vlogs. I'm sitting, if y'all are seeing any of the D&D series, like around the 700 mark, and right before and after that, that was me editing, okay? Like I'm sitting on so much content. It's crazy. I had the adventure of a lifetime last year. I'm like, I need to edit. I don't want to go on a new adventure with the old adventure not edited. I want to go to the gym every day. I want to be on top of it. I got to work on this. I released the whole EP. Like, baby, I've been working. You best to know, we FaceTime all the time, we talk all the time. Like, I understand you're going to have your doubts, but like I was letting him know, I'm like, bro, just trust me. Like I'm that's all I'm asking. I'm very transparent. If anything happens, I will let you know, but nothing's gonna happen. I'm here to restore my mental health, partially from you. So, and do my work and mind my business and go to the gym and etc. During this time, despite me saying I needed some space from him to be able to think, from the situation, to be able to work, to be able to mind my business, he gets even pushier. He's like, so I'm just not gonna see you. Are we not doing the cabin? Okay, can we get a hotel? Are you gonna sneak me into your ex's place? And mind you, this is somebody who's very invasive with like your personal, like everything, passwords, purses, bags. No, I'm not gonna sneak you into my ex's spot. One, when I lived with my ex before, there was never another man in that house. Never. I'm not disrespectful. Never. So he's like, oh, you gonna sneak me in? I'm like, and I'm not trying to be easily influenced by a partner. So I'm like, no, listen, like, so I guess he thought that was suspicious. Like, I didn't want to sneak him into another man's house. I don't live there. I was visiting, paying to visit, okay? To get to a safe space, because I don't know what the hell was going on at my family's rental property with you, with a tenant, with our relationship, all of it. Like, and again, this is not to make the other person look bad. This is just to raise awareness to mental health and relationships and the roles they play. That being said, there is a second half to the story time, but if you're tired of me running my mouth, that's okay. I'll tell you how it ends. And also, I do want to mention I was problematic as well. I had some new behaviors that I didn't even realize. Well, actually, I know I realized why. I was afraid to be transparent with him because of the reactions. So sometimes I would omit things. Sometimes I was nervous to talk. But anyways, it ended with me going to the airport. He took me there and I begged him at the last moment. Oh, that was so embarrassing. I begged him. He's like, just ask me for things. I asked him to come. I was like, it was so much money. I imagined you there. And he said no. And he went on a road trip to buy a $2,000 PC because he's a gamer, and it broke my heart. So I just want to say, stop forcing things, let them flow. And if somebody sees themselves out your life, let them go. I really do mean that. I'm on the trip now. It's the most magical experience ever, and it was meant for just me. Okay? So, yeah, but feel free to watch the second half too. There's more context and detail. So, yeah, anyways, I'll see y'all. Bye. And I better not catch you begging anybody for anything, okay? I'm gonna listen to my own advice soon. Clearly, I have not, but it was just a bad bitch who done bought a man a trip to Asia because she was in love, and I'll never again.